Last time on Hard Choices Podcast, the Boner Squad faced off against What We Do in the Shadows, but now it's time to find out who we fuck in 300 times gravity. It's their hardest challenge yet to turn Akira Toriyama's seminal classic Dragon Ball universe into a seminal universe.
Oh, Jesus.
Can they match bits with a universe almost entirely devoid of female characters? Will they have to address the fact that Frieza is definitely into race play?
Ooh.
Or that Cell is probably into vor?
Ooh.
Probably?
Remove your weighted training panties and channel your energy between your legs because it's time to drag on D's balls.
Oh my God.
Damn. How's your throat doing there, bud?
I am James D'Amato, prince of all podcasters and ruler of all perverts. Horniness is the only thing that matters in this world. I'll be hosting your episode this week, but I will be joined by many capable degenerates. With a body count of over 9,000 fictional characters, it's MeganBob. That's you!
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to ask me the question. I apologize.
I mean, I figured you'd say hi, and then I'd ask the question.
Okay, then I'll do that. Hi, James. Thanks for hosting.
Bob,
Yes.
how have you been training to prepare for today's episode?
Well, embarrassingly, I forgot that you were going to make that over 9,000 joke because what I was going to say, and I'm still going to say, is that I've been on the wiki training to get my pussy level to over 9,000. I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z except what I have mainlined over the past 48 hours is how I have tried to learn about Dragon Ball Z.
I'm very excited about that. I will transition us into greeting our next performer, and I won't do it in the Vegeta voice. Screaming at the universe until she reaches her horniest form, it is host of the Gem Jammer podcast and Empress of the Universe, Annie Craton.
Hello. Thank you for recognizing my title.
Annie, how have you been training to prepare?
I've also been on the wiki remembering a lot more about the fucking Majin Buu saga than I ever cared to remember.
Kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer.
I've also been working on making sure that, Goku?
Goku? Son Goku?
Goku. I know him carnally.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, we're going to see if that's also biblically. Let's turn over to someone who is awakening from his centuries-long nap to threaten the fabric of the universe with his correct takes. It's writer and host of the War Rocket Ajax podcast, Chris Sims.
I appreciate that everyone else's introduction is about how horny they are and how much of a pervert they are. And mine's, this guy's right.
Chris is playing a different game than the rest of us.
Somehow that always happens when I'm on this show.
I've shared a couple of different episodes with you. I feel like I've got the vibe now. Maybe not everybody needs to walk away from the Hard Choices podcast with titles such as pervert and degenerate and whatnot. And maybe we could spare Chris that.
I'm not here to have a good time. I'm here to be correct.
I haven't had to, argue with Chris Sims on a Hard Choices yet. This is exciting. We've just, yelled about shit in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Chris, who is almost certainly after the podcast going to throw himself into a thorn bush, I have to ask, what have you been doing to train yourself to prepare for today's episode?
I have been jacking off in the room of space and time where you can watch an entire year's worth of pornography and only a day will pass outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alternate joke. I have gathered all of the horniest perverts from Universe 6 and Universe 7 and pit them against each other.
Oh, my dude.
Alternate joke.
My dude.
Yes.
Third joke.
Fusion dance.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Wait, who are you currently a fusion of?
I don't know, me and one of you perverts, I guess.
Sure. With our warriors assembled, it is almost time to begin the ultimate tournament of fuckability. But before we do, we must reflect on the nature of what it means to be fuckable. And to do that, we turn our attention now to MeganBob.
Fuckability is not about what they look like. It's about what they fuck like. So assume you are into them, they are into you. How good is the sex? And what is it like?
Now, before we begin, we have to take a quick moment to recognize the brave warriors who were eliminated in the qualifying round. These are our honorable mentions. The first is Future Trunks. Ages are pretty hard to track for Dragon Ball characters. Future Trunks wavers between being a very young adult and a teenager, and ranking him in this tournament is not the kind of risk that we're willing to take. But it's worth noting that some of us started watching this show around 9 years old and became so obsessed with this character in particular that we discovered fan fiction reading many people's Mary Sue fics on GeoCity's website called Temple of Trunks. And that it's an important stepping stone to a queer awakening, and for that, Future Trunks is to be lauded.
He's a whole gender. Mm-hmm. He's a whole fucking gender all on his own, and I want that.
Get me one of those tiny jackets.
I want that for me.
He also does what is probably the most fuckable thing in Dragon Ball Z. Which is cutting Frieza directly in half.
In half?
In front of Frieza's dad.
Ooh.
God.
Yeah, and then just like shifting his shoulders a little bit to catch his sword afterwards.
In twain, sir.
Oh, so good.
Also, I feel like the problem with this show is that when you said ages are hard to track, I heard a jizz is hard to track, and I feel like it could go either way. I need the rest of the sentence to figure it out.
We've already broken your brain.
Next we have Boo, aka Majin Boo, Kid Boo, Perfect, whatever the hell. Is he thousands of years old? Was he born yesterday? Boo's like if those stereotypical anime characters who are super old but trapped into an underage body was a sadistic gremlin made of bubblegum instead of, like a 10-year-old in lingerie.
Oh.
There's enough there that we aren't touching that shit.
Boo's hard to reckon with.
I don't like him. I don't care for him. I don't want him here.
I don't want to have to think about him carnally.
I want him to leave.
Especially when you find out that he's also, much like Piccolo, 3 different guys.
Yeah. He's a couple guys.
Yep. Ugh, Boo.
Next up, we have what I affectionately call the trash Saiyans. That would be Raditz, Nappa, and Brawly. And look, we tried to include them, but this list is extra long already and full of characters who are actually way more interesting. If Dragon Ball cared about Raditz and Nappa, then it probably would have brought them back already. And if you're a power-scaling obsessed weirdo who wants to think about getting vigorously rage-plowed by Brawly, I'm sorry to say you're gonna have to do it on your own time.
Also did not include the new Saiyans, Kaba, Kale, and Kefla. Super brought a lot of interesting ideas to the Dragon Ball mythos, including the radical concept of relevant female characters. Unfortunately for our purposes, the new Saiyans are teens.
And of course, since we referenced the Buu saga, we've got to talk about our friend Darbura, the weird devil guy from the Buu arc who could make people hard by spitting on them. And that's someone that we skipped, which should give you some idea of how stacked this list is.
Can I say what's great about Darbura, though?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
His name is a pun in 2 different ways.
Go on.
If you don't know what he looks like a devil.
Yeah.
Like he's red, he's got pointy ears.
He's a devil guy.
Yeah. Darbura.
Yeah, devil.
Also, he's aligned with Bibbidi and Bobbidi, and Boo, he's Darbura.
Abracadabra. Yeah.
Dabura.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Toriyama, man. He's got it.
Yeah, he does.
This all brings us now to our main list of contenders.
Number 1, Goku, the original and strongest himbo. A sweet dork with a big appetite who likes to make friends and test his abilities. We met him as a sweet kid who was ready for adventure and watched him grow into the hero and protector of Earth that somehow eventually turned him into a fighting maniac willing to risk the destruction of entire universes just for a chance to punch someone strong. He's just too good at moving merch.
Number 2, Vegeta. The Saiyan prince with a Napoleon complex whose power is only outmeasured by his pride. He sees it as his life's mission to realize his true strength and surpass Goku, uttering absolutely bad bitch lines like,
"Every breath you take is an assault on my honor."
he would really like it if everyone forgot about the fact that he constantly has to put his pride aside to literally fuse bodies with his rival in order to save the people he loves.
Number 3 is Bulma, the most brilliant human ever to live. She started as a willful teenage billionaire who somehow felt like she needed magical wishing powers in order to find a boyfriend. Now she's one of like 3 smartest people in the entire universe. Bulma is so smart she accidentally committed cosmic crimes by doing science so advanced it's literally forbidden by God, while under-resourced in an apocalypse. But she spends most of her time, effort, and considerable resources keeping herself in peak cougar condition.
At number 4, we have Chi-Chi, a victim of one of the most horrendous character assassinations in all of fiction.
Thank you!
She started her life as a sweet princess who grew into a capable woman determined to be a match for the best. Today, she's a verbally, financially, and physically abusive maniac who is more insistent on her rigid vision for her family than the physical safety of her world.
Number 5, Yamcha. So far behind in the power rankings that he is a meme for being irrelevant. Yamcha was once a desert bandit and a handsome bad boy looking to hone and test his strength. He is one of the first characters to look at the trajectory of the Z fighters and nope his way into finding comfort with inadequacy. He may no longer be a fighter, but consider this. He is still the greatest baseball player in history.
Number 8, we have Tien Shin Han, a monk and martial artist originally trained in the unscrupulous Crane School, before just barely claiming the World Martial Arts Champion title and doing a full face turn. While he has spent most of his career a D-tier Z fighter, he maintains a haughty and snappish persona. He has 3 eyes and an untold number of dicks.
Coming in at number 7 is Frieza, the queer-coded and self-titled Emperor of the Universe. He's responsible for multiple planet-sized genocides, including the adopted Saiyan homeworlds of planet Vegeta, meaning he is responsible for killing both Goku and Vegeta's dads. He's sadistic, domineering, and braggadocious. The classic guy who introduces himself as a hardcore dom at the beginning of the night, but somehow always ends up getting his ass kicked.
At number 8, we have a personal favorite, Gohan, parentheses, adult. Goku's oldest son, and the misfortunate boy born into a life where he constantly had to witness the death of friends, mentors, and parental figures, sometimes more than once. A life where he knows that his decisions have a very real impact on the fate of the universe. Despite all that, and the fact that all of the people who raised him have expressed some level of disapproval for his choices, he's also somehow a pretty emotionally well-adjusted guy.
Number 9, Videl. Gohan's wife and daughter of Mr. Satan. She grew up around martial arts with the knowledge that her dad was the best in the world at the thing that also happened to be the most popular and important thing in the world. As a teenager, she discovered there's a secret, crazy world of even more insane martial arts that constantly threatens the planet. She adjusted to this revelation well by marrying and almost certainly pegging potentially the most powerful being in the universe.
Number 10 is Piccolo. Listing off this character's history is actually so wild. Is he King Piccolo? Piccolo after fusing with Nail? Piccolo Jr.? Piccolo after fusing with Kami? Suffice to say, he used to be a bad guy, and then he got punched so hard he became the world's greatest stepdad. And now he is apparently homeless man who is also a doting grandfather who needs a lot of help marketing himself.
He has a house.
He has a house. It's filled with stuffed animals.
Hey, man, he sits on that hill pretty much all the time. You might have a house, but he's out there busking for change.
Number 11 is Cell, the ultimate life form resulting from fusing the DNA of Earth's greatest warriors and a vor-based bodybuilding strategy. He nearly took control of the Earth during a self-titled martial arts tournament, but got blown up by a meddling kid. Is he a bug? Yes. Is he queer-coded? Oh, brother, you better believe it.
Number 12, Krillin. Goku's childhood best friend and sort of rival, who is almost certainly the strongest human alive. He started out as a canny, streetwise Shaolin monk who came to the Turtle Hermit to develop his abilities. These days, he's pretty dependable to get fridged when Goku needs some extra motivation to transform. There are no small parts, just short kings.
Number 13, Android 18. The absolute baddie android with limitless energy that Dragon Ball Super seems to only want to remember half the time. In one universe, she was a sadistic killing machine that nearly ended human civilization, only to be foiled by a time-traveling twink. In the main timeline, she is a loving, if emotionally reserved, wife and mother who is willing to overlook a lot for the kind of head you can get when your partner doesn't have a nose.
Number 14 is Master Roshi, the Turtle Hermit martial arts master who invented the Kamehameha wave and trained some of the strongest fighters in the universe. He's also a notorious pervert in the anime, panty, and nudie magazine-obsessed fashion. He used to look kind of like a combination between Yamcha and Gohan, so maybe he's just pining for his glory days.
I've never seen that. It's a hell of a look.
Isn't it? Like, pretty wild.
Damn.
Young Master Roshi can't hurt you.
Number 15 is King Kai, the God King of the northern region of Universe 7. That's this one. He's tasked with controlling a specific region of the universe, but over the last few arcs of Dragon Ball, his job became more about hosting all of Goku's friends when they die and desperately trying to contain the battle lust of the universe's most powerful himbo. Doesn't go so hot.
At number 16, we have Whis, the angel and attendant of Universe 7's God of Destruction. Possibly the most accomplished martial artist in the entire Dragon Ball universe and the gay best friend of the current roster of Z Fighters. He has the kind of personality that comes from knowing you are literally one of the only competent, rational beings alive and being a messy bitch who lives for drama.
Number 17, Mr. Satan. Known as the world martial arts champion and beloved protector of Earth, he has the dedication to never break kayfabe in front of the fans, even if it means risking his life. He is cursed with the cosmic dread-inspiring knowledge that there is a secret cell of martial artists who hold the power to save or destroy his world, and there is nothing he can do to stop them. He was such a bro to an ancient cosmic evil that he fixed him.
He gave him a dog.
Aww.
They got married and adopted a dog.
No.
His relationship is so interesting. We'll tear into that later, but right now we've got number 18, Launch, an outlaw with sneeze-based multiple personality disorder who oscillates between being a kind-hearted bimbo and a sadistic machine gun-touting thug. She quickly lost relevance after being introduced in Dragon Ball and was absent for the entirety of Z with a small cameo at the end of Super. But we're not here to judge character arcs or how well used characters are. We're here to judge fuckability. And that's my commitment to feminism.
Thank you, James.
Number 19 is Android 17, the other baddie android with limitless energy that Super only seemed half interested in remembering. He was once a mildly queer-coded robotic killing machine, but these days he spends his time in wildlife preservation by way of cultivating a potentially universe-ending destructive power. I know that we're just going around in a loop, but I swear to God, every single one of mine has said the phrase queer-coded.
Yeah, I think you got all the villains somehow, because that's what Dragon Ball loves to do.
And Bulma.
Better any of you than me. James, I gotta say, great list, great job. Don't want to take anything away from that. You do have characters named 17 and 18 that you did not put at number 17 and 18, and as the same person who was compelled to put Two-Face at number 2, I'm very bothered by that.
I must vex you before we match wits and opinion.
At number 20, we have Beerus, the Universe 7 Avatar of Destruction. This character is the direct result of Akira Toriyama looking at his cat and going, yeah, I bet he could kick Goku's ass. He's lazy, grumpy, prideful, and is also an Epicurean eater with very high standards.
Yeah, that's a kitty cat.
It's a kitty cat.
Number 21, Captain Ginyu and the Ginyu Force. Captain Ginyu is the queer-coded leader of a bombastic squad of stylish ruffians working under Lord Frieza. They like to posture, pose, and name attacks in the style of Super Sentai teams. While Ginyu is a sadistic body-swapping maniac, he is inseparable from his brand, and if you try to fuck him, you're gonna have to do something with all of them.
Number 22, we have Supreme Kai. What if God was purple and had a mohawk? Also, for our purposes, what if he was inexperienced and submissive? Akira Toriyama is happy to answer all of those questions in Supreme Kai. He is a supervising god tasked with commanding the Kais of northern, eastern, western, and southern regions of Universe 7. This means his second biggest problem is Goku, and his biggest problem is his callous disregard for Frieza's constant genocide.
And finally, number 23 is Yajirobe, a former feral barbarian man turned confirmed bachelor, bean farmer, and roommate of an enlightened cat. He's kind of a coward, but he is responsible for saving the world at least once, and I mean, we love a thick king.
Mm-hmm.
We begin, as always, in the middle. So I think, Bob, we need to turn to you for your number 12.
I don't know what I'm doing. I've never seen this show, really. I watched some yesterday, and I had flashbacks to having watched it a little bit as a young adult and going, I don't know what's happening. Well, my number 12 is Gohan.
Oh!
Okay.
I don't know if that's controversial.
I'm scandalized.
Interesting.
So I think the sex is going to be fine, but Jesus Christ, it's going to feel like I'm fucking near an active volcano of trauma. That can be sexy.
Sure.
But that's sexy when you have some sense of when and how it might erupt. This guy's trauma is all fucking dormant. And who the fuck knows where it's going to come out? I am on the record as wanting to heal all the ills in the world with blowjobs, but like, you do also have to go to therapy. Blowjobs are part of a complete breakfast, sir, not a substitute for it.
It comes out in the penis. Just to help.
Out of every character in Dragon Ball, Gohan is the one who I would believe has been to therapy.
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, good for him. All right.
No one else.
No.
Yeah. There's not a chance in hell. Bulma might have wished some trauma away at one point. That's not the same thing.
Yeah. That's Bulma's MO. Yeah. She just stuffed all the trauma into a capsule.
Oh, no.
My number 12, which is Master Roshi.
Good for you.
Yeah, he's a stereotypical anime pervert, but I think that's the result of him being really into sex and so far past his prime, it doesn't come to him easily anymore. He might not be amazing at it, but he does care about it, and that's what you need to get to median in this universe.
Goddamn.
Hard disagree.
Interesting. Ooh. All right.
I hope you saw me and Annie reacting to that placement.
I think it is fair. I did a lot of considering of where he could fall, and I'm going to stand by it.
All right, man.
But we can unpack that later.
Chris, you're number 12.
My number 12, we're going to start real strong. Because at number 12, median, I put Goku.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
The Super Saiyan raised on Earth. Here's the thing. I don't think Goku would be bad necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Goku doesn't know what sex is.
Yeah.
This is absolutely true, yes. We can all agree on this.
That's 1,000% true, yeah.
Goku has 2 children.
Yes.
And there is no evidence that he has had sex.
Correct.
Canonically doesn't know what kissing is.
Or how babies are made.
There is a bit in Dragon Ball Super where Bulma is pregnant with her second child, and Goku, first of all, just thinks she's gained some weight and wants to know if she wants to, like, train a little bit. And then when Whis the Angel shows up and teleports the baby out of Bulma so that Vegeta doesn't have to hang around and wait to witness the baby being born. Yes, Annie?
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. He teleports the baby out of Bulma?
Yeah, I read about that.
Bulma's due
The
date's
whole
in like a
baby.
couple days, and so
The umbilical cord? What happens to the umbilical cord?
fully just pops out swaddled and ready to go into the bassinet. Yeah.
You've seen like a television show before.
Goku witnesses this and goes, Oh, is that how that goes? I don't know what Chi-Chi was complaining about.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Christ.
I'm gonna kill him.
Well, you can try.
That's true. I will give it the old college try.
There's no malice in that, but there's no malice in anything that Goku does. He's pure of heart.
Yeah.
That's why he can ride on the cloud. So that lack of knowledge, it's just not a thing for him. And I feel like I would have put him higher because I feel like there is a way that you could phrase it to him that I think would work. But our friend Ben Gully asked me the other day, does Goku brush his teeth?
Oh no.
And I did not have an answer for him.
Oh, and you do have a lot of answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think the answer is yes, but only because Chi-Chi makes him, which means for the first, let's say, 20 years of his life, he did not.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof. That's gross.
Yeah, because Bulma wouldn't take that responsibility.
No.
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 Annie, you're number 12.
Mine is actually a bit of a companions to Bob in that my number 12 is Videl.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
She's one of those Dragon Ball characters who fits in the category of like normal human who learned to fly. And for Videl, that happened because some dumb boy could do it. So why the fuck couldn't she? And I love that energy for her. Videl's basically like, what if Chi-Chi got therapy and also married someone who actually loves spending time with her? So like sex with Videl would be fun, not mind-blowing, but like a really good time, like sex with a good friend. And afterwards you go out on a date, you watch her teach a class, you pick her kid up from preschool because Piccolo's busy that afternoon. And then you get dinner with Gohan. It's like she's a well-adjusted adult friend. And also she can fly because why the fuck couldn't she?
Aww.
Videl really is like the combination of Chi-Chi and Bulma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she's the fighty of Chi-Chi and the super rich of Bulma. She is both Betty and Veronica.
I love your take on that because it is using the same logic for a completely different result than mine. I cannot wait to discuss that.
All right. With that, James, who's your number 13?
My number 13 is Yajirobe.
Oh.
And
Good for you.
people sleep on Yajirobe
Yes.
because he isn't into insane cosmic martial arts. But he started his life as a half-feral barbarian man who, unlike Goku, is absolutely a sexual being. He just saw things that he wanted, and he took them. However, he loses points because he definitely fucks that cat.
Yeah.
All right. Annie, you're number 13.
My number 13 was Cell, but my question is which Cell? So I've written up some pros and cons. Imperfect Cell. Pro. Monster Bug was a weird mouth, and I want to see what he can do with it.
What that mouth do, Cell?
What that mouth do, Cell? How's that thing open? I don't quite get it. Con, Vortail.
Yeah.
Semi-perfect Cell. Pro, broad shoulders, even taller, love a height difference. Con, Vortail and Mr. Popo lips.
Yeah.
Perfect Cell. Pro, driven to give you the perfect orgasm, and the Vortail has been neatly tucked away. Con, shorter than other cells, has a Pope hat.
Yeah.
There's just a lot to juggle with, and I think, like, when I was writing this, I was thinking 13 was going to be, like, my middle, so he ends up just, like, it averages out to a monster fuck? Yeah.
How's the Pope hat a con, though?
You can't take it off.
He can't
Chris.
take it off.
Yeah.
And it's not shaped in such a way that I can get my hands around it for gripping.
Yeah.
The handles.
Yeah, maybe you can install something.
I'm going to
Yeah,
keep
maybe if
making
he
this
could-
motion until it's acknowledged.
I'm not acknowledging this. No. I want some handlebars, like, laterally on the x-axis.
All right. Well, my number 13 is King Kai. I respect the hustle of someone who's so committed to their own bad jokes that they've made poor life decisions because of it. And I respect it enough to suck his dick about it. Will it be good? Probably not. But I'll know that I was doing the right thing. Like in a cosmic sense. All right, Chris, you're number 13.
Number 13, I did put Wiz. I like Wiz as a character, as James put it in the introduction. Just someone who is actually good at their job, just, kind of existing alongside all this stuff that to them truly does not matter. But to my prior point about teleporting that baby out of Bulma, I feel like sex with Whis is mostly just like getting zapped in the pleasure center of your brain.
Sure.
Yeah.
That raises a lot of philosophical questions because you can't get tired of it because physiologically it's just going to release the same chemicals and same sensations. But it's also like, yeah, it's great, but it doesn't really matter.
Put in some effort. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the whole of sex.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a good point.
And it's not the sex of whole.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Chris, I'm going to stick with you. Who's your number 14?
Number 14, I did put Frieza.
Okay.
A friend of mine wrote once, and this was shared publicly, so I don't mind sharing it, but she wrote once about an ex of hers who was, as you put it, a self-styled dom who
Oh, no.
would just keep adding gimmicks to his look to the point where like eventually he was like walking around the sex club with like fingerless leather gloves and a hat and a paper lantern.
What the fuck?
I think about that guy all the time. And Frieza's that guy.
Okay. Wow.
But I do think he has charisma. I do think he does have some charisma.
Sure. Can I jump the list to blow everybody's mind?
Oh, please.
Because Frieza's also my number 14.
Okay.
This is like maybe a little bit of a big feels here. This one surprised me. Fucking Frieza is generally a really bad idea. He is legitimately crazy, and contrary to popular belief, that does not make someone good at sex. Most people are just bad at sex, and they lack the competency needed to identify sanity or sexual acumen. But Frieza is actually a deranged pervert. His whole army has a fucky vibe to it, and half of his best lines are about obedience and submission. He is not my kind of top, but for a certain person, he would be pretty great. And also, the idea of topping and humiliating a prideful and furious dictator is kind of delicious to me. However, he loses points because he is into race play, which is a turnoff, just base under the best of circumstances. But he is also into race play because he is actually very racist.
Actually racist, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Very racist.
There's no play to it, I don't think.
No, there is play to it because it definitely gets him off. Like,
He says it in very flirty ways, which is upsetting.
He's racist and really horny about it. It's tough. I think there's on a technical level, a purely technical level, if you strip out all of the storytelling, there's some interesting sex to be had with Frieza, but you can't take that away because he's going to make sure it's there.
Oof. All right, Annie, who's your number 14?
It's also Frieza!
What the fuck?
Yes!
Yeah. Listen. Frieza is that toxic ex that just keeps showing up at your door like, baby, I've changed. I'm even better than before. Let me show you.
I have a new form.
Exactly. And you know that he's still a piece of shit, but damn if he doesn't look good. And you let him in, and then he just talks down to you the whole time. And sure, he's got a prehensile tail and those grabby feet, and it's like, it's not bad sex, but you just feel like shit each and every time afterwards. And you remember why you stopped picking up this guy's calls last time. And you boot him out, but then you just know he's gonna be back again in a couple of months, maybe with his dad or his brother in tow, to make a case for why you guys should fuck again. And like, hey, this time I've got a robo-dick. You like robo-dicks, don't you?
Oh, you know I do. Get in here.
No.
Yes, I've been investing in crypto lately.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, no.
This is why you keep a sword next to the door.
Gotta keep the sword next to the door.
That's why you keep a sword next to the door. You gotta chop them in half. In twain.
This is the MeganBob is Wrong podcast episode.
Oh, I was dreading to see where Frieza ended up on your list.
Oh, Bob.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, Bob.
No.
What do you
I
got?
didn't do that. But Supreme Kai.
Okay.
I just get Leslie Knope vibes off this guy. I don't know if that's totally misplaced, but there's this kind of like,
No, you got it.
oh, I did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so there's this kind of like earnest cluelessness combined with the depth of knowledge that makes him hit exactly wrong to do a lot for me. Not that you shouldn't fuck Leslie, no, because you definitely should. But for me, fucking Supreme Kai seems like it would require me like backing all the way up to explain why someone would have sex in the first place. And unlike, literally, as far as I can tell, any Saiyan ever, I can walk away from a battle that's not mine to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we could just put on the fusion earrings. I don't understand.
All right, we move down to number 15. James, you're number 15.
Android 17. This is a sweet and sensitive boy who struggles to let anyone in. I believe it would be both tender and memorable. And alternate universe or alternate timeline 17 is somehow a bratty top, which is interesting, but I maybe don't want to figure that one out.
All right, Annie, you're number 15.
My number 15 is my first big feels.
Oh, yeah?
It's Piccolo.
Wow. 50, wow.
Okay. I love Piccolo. Of course, I love Piccolo. He's a big, grumpy monster man who's secretly soft because he's also the dad who stepped up. This is a perfect recipe for my favorite kind of guy. But I cannot possibly imagine that this guy is actually good at sex. Like, first of all, I'm not convinced that Namekians reproduce in any other ways besides spitting eggs out their mouths. So I'm not convinced he has, like, a dick or really just any kind of reproductive organs or a sex drive. And I just don't think Piccolo is the kind of guy who, like, even if he is uninterested in sex itself, if he's like an asexual who like does have sex occasionally, like I don't think he has the kind of patience to be a lover. He would not have the interest or patience to learn how to please a partner. Like, look, this man blew up the moon to solve a problem.
Sure.
This is not a man who understands subtlety. He would not take the time to even learn where my clitoris is. Piccolo goes for the nuclear option. Piccolo would take a magic wand, the whole thing, a Hitachi magic wand. He would take the entire thing, turn it up to its highest setting, shove it in my pussy, and just start screaming. Because that is obviously the fastest way to solve my orgasm problem. And it's like, buddy, I can't just focus my Namekian chi to grow a new pussy out of my crotch. That shit's just gone now. There's nothing. It's not coming back.
Oh, man. Well, somebody on the other end of the scale, my number 15 is Yamcha. This is going to sound like I'm arguing that I don't like and don't want to fuck people that settle for not being the best. Wrong. Those people are fucking great. Being the best is overrated 98% of the time. But Yamcha doesn't feel like a guy that looked at being the best and went, fuck that. So much as a guy who looked at being the best and went, yeah, I don't think that's me. And it's the mildness of that reaction that really has me feeling like I'm in for a mediocre time. See, Yajirobe didn't put all his XP into being a fighter either, but he did put it into like something. Yamcha feels like a guy who low-key hasn't declared a major. And pro tip, those guys can't fuck for shit.
Oh, Bob, you got it in one. That is Yamcha to a T.
Wow.
To a Z, perhaps.
Oh, I'm really glad because this is pure like, do I know this guy? I think I know this guy. And like some of them are just, this is me knowing this guy.
You know that guy.
Yeah, sure.
I do. Ugh. Fuck. Don't shrug at life, you piece of shit. Okay, sorry. Chris, you're number 15.
I'm sorry, I have a lot of questions for Annie.
Hey, save those for unpacking this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I got you fucking good. I'm delighted.
It's Cell's nude. Like we can see.
no. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm
Sometimes people have chitinous exoskeleton that is also clothes.
I am aligned with James in this because Android 17 is my number 15. The thing that I bring to this show, I have a knowledge of canon, which makes me right. And we know that Android 17, one of the few characters who actually retires from fighting and then goes and gets a job and a family. He has a wife and 2 kids and a job protecting dinosaurs because he's a park ranger on Dinosaur Island.
A normal job.
It's also adorable. Like, imagine going on that first date with Android 17 and he's like, yes, I love animals so much that I have a job beating up poachers who try to kill dinosaurs. My pants are off.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
But we never see the wife and kids. So I can't like really make a judgment about, like, we know a lot about how Goku fucks because we see Chi-Chi, right?
Sure.
Like, we know a lot about how Vegeta fucks because we see Bulma. I don't have the information on Android 17, so I'm like, yeah, probably, but also I don't like his voice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
As somebody who focuses a lot of my energy on Garrus Vicarian, the voice is important.
It's just very delightful to me that I'm finding out what would make Chris Sims swipe left. Just go like, no, annoying voice. Next. Don't like it.
Dinosaurs in Dragon Ball are essentially larger, dumber dogs.
Yeah, they're all puppies.
That's great.
So, yeah.
I love this.
They're all like Ray Harryhausen dinosaurs who are also puppies.
Because all the dogs are guys.
no.
Or just
Yeah.
like fully
Yeah.
guys.
Except for Mr. Satan and Majin Buu's dog, who is a dog.
Yeah. Sometimes there are dogs and sometimes it's like Goofy and Pluto.
That's like a teacup breed in
Oh,
the Dragon Ball
God.
universe.
Hang on, MeganBob, do you know about the President of Earth?
I knew this was going to come up. I knew the President of Earth was going to come up.
No, I don't know about the President of Earth. Tell me about the President of Earth.
Canonically, in Dragon Ball, the President of Earth is a dog that looks like Teddy Roosevelt.
That's fantastic.
And he should be on this list.
His name is President Furry.
That's banana cakes. I like that a lot.
Because you know he rails. You absolutely know he rails.
This is what Dragon Ball Z is.
It's only exciting if we all have different number ones.
This is amazing. Wow. All right. Okay. Annie, you're number 16.
My number 16.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
King Furry. He's
King
the
Furry.
King of Earth.
King of
that's
Earth,
true.
yeah.
King President.
King of
yeah.
Earth. Oh, I'm so sorry.
My number 16 is Yamcha. Like, Yamcha is mediocre, and he knows he's mediocre. It's not that he's a bad guy. It's not that he's bad at sex. It's just that Yamcha is the first dude who nuts too hard at the orgy, so you can tell how seriously horny things are getting. And like,
Oh my God. He's like a bellwether.
yeah, exactly. He's the canary.
Oh my.
And after he comes, he collapses in that one pose. Every single time.
Yeah.
That's unfucking believable. It's like everybody just looking at Yamcha.
Just
like,
waiting.
at the orgy going, is it kicked off yet? Is it kicked off yet?
And then Yamcha nuts.
Fucking incredible.
And then we're like, all right.
The entire orgy breaks out into like cheers. Everything goes insane. Okay, Chris, you're number 16.
Annie, I have known you for 10 years.
Yes? Yes, you have.
And I did I did not, the filth coming out of you.
Well, that's because
this
this is
show.
Hard Choices where I roleplay an allosexual person.
At number 16, I put Beerus.
What?
Beerus is a great character. I once worked with 3-time Eisner winner Erica Henderson on a project,
Wow.
and we had a cat lady. A cat lady is a different thing, but like a cat girl.
Like a
Okay.
furry
A cat
or like
person.
a cat girl.
Yes. And Erica brought the designs back, and she was like, yeah, I made her a Sphinx cat because I didn't want anybody jacking off to those.
Oh,
And-
no.
Joke's on you.
I feel like Beerus very much like the same as like, yeah, he's a Sphinx cat. He's like kind of horrible to look at in a great way. But again, Beerus is very like, as we get to the bottom of my list, I think you're going to notice a trend, and that's selfishness. the whole bottom of my list is like partners who aren't going to be very interested in what you want. And Beerus, I think, is kind of the ultimate version of that. Like, Beerus canonically sleeps and eats and doesn't really do anything else except for like destroy planets every now and then. Mm-hmm. You're basically fucking a hotter Garfield.
You know, sleeping, eating, and taking the easy way out is kind of your favorite like character brand, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's a great character.
But you know what? I wouldn't put her at the top of that list either.
That is true.
All right. Well, my number 16 is Android 18. I think she tops a lot. And it's not because she's into topping necessarily or gets a lot out of it. It's just kind of who she is. For me, that's kind of nothing. Like, I'm not really going to enjoy it very much, regardless of how technically proficient her fuck score is. I don't want to sub for somebody who's not getting something big out of my submission. I am sorry. You must be this into my deal before I kneel.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you. It's because it rhymes.
It
I'm very
rhymes.
proud of it. I was like, oh, it's got a little rhyme in it. I'm delighted.
Love it when it's got a little rhyme in it.
And then that way I can put it on my business card.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, James, you're number 16.
My number 16 is Mr. Satan.
Beautiful.
Mr. Satan is going to give you a 70s style karate's fuck. He's got
wow.
a strong grip, endurance, and more body hair than a black bear. Ooh. He will try to sell you a case of his self-branded lube, though.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, oh, I don't like that. Chris, you're number 17.
At number 17, I have Tianjinhan. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of what all of you are saying about Yamcha, which is slanderous and mean and rude, frankly, I could say about Tien. Like, okay, that's my reaction to Tien. Okay.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I know you're on a time limit because you got a babysitter watching over that weird man you live with.
It's a fully grown man.
He's an adult man.
Also, is Tien human?
I have just rewatched that arc of Dragon Ball. I can't tell you, bud. They never address it. They never bring it up.
It is not even clear to me whether that is an actual eye or a tattoo.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about Tien that Toriyama is not interested in answering. And if Toriyama is not interested, why should I be?
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Tough but fair. I'm going to fess up now because my 17 is Frieza, and I don't know whether that makes me righter or wronger. Given the math, wrong.
That's probably a correct answer.
I mean, that's a correct answer. I think he should be lower on the list.
Yeah, I would have been concerned if you had placed Frieza higher, but I think placing Frieza lower is perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
You will not be kicked out of your own podcast tonight.
Yeah. We don't know. We haven't seen the rest of the list.
Not yet.
I know. I was going to say, like, whoa, don't make me any fucking promises. Okay. I mean, he has a tail, and I do like that. But I don't like genocide. And even if I was neutral on that topic, which again, I am not.
That's a hard no for this list.
Yeah.
That's a difficult no to negotiate around.
He just seems like he yells a lot, and he doesn't enjoy anything except himself. I don't think he really wants to fuck me. And I don't even think he really wants me here for this fuck. Some people would just be a lot happier jerking off in front of a mirror, and Frieza is one of them. I mean, look, I can get off on that, but at this point, why would I even show up to your fucking house? You can just send me the video of you doing this while villainously monologuing, and honestly, as I am saying it, maybe Frieza needs an OnlyFans. There's a market for this, my dude. All right, James, you're number 17.
My number 17 is Krillin. And
What?
he should be higher on this list, but for some reason he's a cop.
Oh, is he? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. The unfortunate truth.
To be fair, he is a cop in the world of Dragon Ball Z.
Sure. Yes. Dragon Ball, very different kind of world. It's Gohan dealt with this by being a superhero. And that's what Krillin could do. But instead, he's a cop. I can't help him. You can't help him. Maybe his friends can get him a better job.
You're not wrong.
All right, well, I may be yelled at later.
Well, I mean, you didn't know he was a cop, and you have no reason to assume that somebody would go on from his career of saving the world to being a cop.
It's true.
Again, in a world where
It's unclear exactly what the police do in Dragon Ball.
there are people making evil robots.
Why do we pay them? They don't do anything.
They might just hold bake sales or something.
Annie, do you want to give us your 17?
I do. My number 17 is Goku.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Go off. Go off.
Okay. So you know how, people who have never heard of asexuality will often assume that it's asexual people just don't know what sex is? You just don't know? You're like a little baby child who's never heard of where babies come from? You don't know that a penis can go into a vagina? You don't know that? And that's what Goku is. Goku is that person that they are imagining.
Yeah.
Again, he's had sex twice. He doesn't know where babies... I think Chi-Chi convinced him that it was some sort of fight where he had to defeat some evil aliens in her vagina with his Saiyan jizz.
Annie, if that was true, he would be better at it. That's the thing that gets me.
I know, but that's my only theory as to how Chi-Chi could have possibly convinced him to have sex. Wow. And he's just it's like a fight, right? Chi-Chi's just sitting there taking off all of her clothes, and she's like, Goku, you have to get in here. My vagina is haunted. So, if you can convince Goku that you have to have a crotch fight, be my guest, but it's not going to be a good fight. Goku is just going to try to win the crotch fight, but he's not going to give you a good orgasm. He'll do sex, technically speaking, but it's not going to be for any purpose aside from winning the fight.
All right, well, who's worse than that, Annie? Who's your 18?
My number 18 is Mr. Satan.
Yeah.
Because, look, if I wanted to fuck a big, hairy person who was secretly kind of a cream puff on the inside, who also was desperately insecure and needed constant validation that he's doing a good job, no, really, baby, I'm loving your cock. I'm really enjoying the sex that we're having right now. You're doing great.
Oh.
I would just go jump Gumby style into any given monster fucker novel, and at least I'd get some pointy teeth and a pair of horns to grab onto while I was at it.
All right, James, you're number 18.
My number 18 is Tien Shin Han.
What?
Look, man, I'm sure he's fine. The next morning, you're going to go get yourself a glass of orange juice, and you're going to find yourself staring into Chiaotzu's hollow, glassy eyes, instantly knowing that he heard everything. Everything.
So?
Tien is like a guy who owns a dog. And he says that he'll be cool about your boundaries around that dog, but eventually he's going to try and start something when the dog is on the bed with you. It's just a non-starter.
All right, Chris, you're number 18?
My number 18 is Captain Ginyu and the Ginyu Force.
Okay.
When we were making this, there are characters that I suggested for this list that didn't make it. We can't talk about Android 21. We can't talk about the other characters from Universe 6.
And yet you're talking about them.
We can't talk about Broly. There was a lot of Broly slander going on, but it was insisted that we have the entire Ginyu Force on here.
I demanded it. That was me.
I had to back that play.
You know how you hear about those people who go to the gym all the time and that's the thing they do, but it's not actually great to be with those people because they're kind of just into themselves a lot. Yeah, what if that was 5 people? And they were all annoying, and the ones who had hair had terrible haircuts.
Hey, Jace is great. Jace looks great.
He's the only one with hair.
Raccoon, though.
Yeah, Raccoon sucks.
Though. Yeah. I wish. Is there an audio version of this face? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing putting the Ginyu Force on here?
You wait.
Like,
Just you wait. We're going to have to get higher on that list to talk about the Ginyu Force.
I guess if we were just talking about Captain Ginyu, you could at least say, like, oh, the body swapping means there could be some variety. Also, that motherfucker's a frog most of the time. So, I don't know, man. Y'all are having fun, I guess.
All right. Well, my number 18 is Launch. I don't think either of these flavors are really going to do a lot for me. And as a result, the sex is mostly just going to be very confusing. I'm a people pleaser. Don't worry, I am in therapy. But being with someone who isn't consistently sure what they want is bad enough in life. It is so much worse in sex. That's just going to give me a fucking panic attack. And so, however good having a panic attack is as a sexual experience, that. Although, if someone out there listening has managed to make your panic attacks into a positive erotic experience, please write in hardchoicespod@gmail.com because I think you may be eligible for a MacArthur Genius Grant.
I do think that there is probably a small contingent of people who have really gotten off to the realistic panic attack scene from the Puss in Boots movie from 2020 when we were all like shut in our homes and losing our minds a little. There's definitely people who have jacked off to that.
Sure.
Okay, well, I believe this. This I do believe. All right, we move on down to number 19. I'll go to get this out of the way. Android 17. I think he fucks like a guy who learned his fucking skills while he was the biggest piece of shit ever. And is now sort of like unlearning them. But character growth takes time and he's still out there fucking before all this is fully done. It's gonna be a bad fuck with glimmers of a good fuck. A real guy who calls you a slut and not completely in a fun way kind of fuck. But he's clearly like trying. He's trying to get better. And you feel like that should make the fuck better. But it does not. Do not fuck on spec, people. Cash only up front. Annie, you're number 19.
My number 19 is Whis.
Wow.
Mostly just because I don't really know this dude, and my impression is that he's a fancy twink, and it's just not really appealing to me right now at this moment as I had been writing this list. But I mean, if he is as obsessed with food as he sounds, shit, I've got something for him to eat.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's my pussy.
Nice. Nice.
Just so we're clear.
I was wondering.
I mean, I know I've been really subtle about this.
All right, Chris, you're number 19.
Number 19, I've got Hercule Satan.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Because Mr. Satan, look, okay.
I can't believe I've never done a Poirot take on fucking Mr. Satan before. Goddamn.
Mr. Satan is an accomplished, legitimate martial artist and world champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is mostly, however, a guy who pretends to be better at a thing than he actually is.
Yes.
Sure.
Ooh, yep.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even think you get to the, yeah, no, it was great. I think you get the, that was great, right? And then before you can even answer, he's gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like, me and Boo got to take the dog out today.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's not a turn on when someone seems kind of like Hulk Hogan. That's not a turn on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like,
No.
very much Hulk Hogan adjacent in a way that as time goes on is doing him no favors.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Not a good time.
More on that soon. Okay. James, you're number 19.
My number 19, unfortunately, has to be Chi-Chi. Super really did a lot to injure this character. Through Z, she would have ranked much higher. But it is really hard to see her as more than anything other than one of the most negligently selfish people in the entire universe. So, there we are.
Poor Chi-Chi.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump in as we go down to number 20 because my number 20 is Chi-Chi. I think there was a time when she used to laugh during sex and walk around the house naked. I think that was a long time ago. And now she'd rather fake an orgasm and get it over with than really let someone be intimate with her emotionally or in any other capacity. Girl, you can divorce Goku if you want to. Nothing is stopping you. You can have a life. It's okay. All right, I just needed to say that.
It's hard when your husband keeps dying and coming back to life to legally parse exactly how that marriage is functioning.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
God. Well, now that I've really made us fucking sad. Annie. Number 20. Go for it.
My number 20 is Supreme Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Shin is the kind of guy who's just absolutely convinced he's the best sex you're ever going to have in your entire life, and he's like smug about it. Dude takes out the world's most average lilac dick, and he's like, impressive, I know. Try not to be too overwhelmed. And it is completely unremarkable sex in the missionary position, and he shatters his Z-sword like 2 minutes in. He also loses points for absolutely showing up at the door while I'm hooking up with Gohan to tell us that he's gracing us with his presence because this man wants to be Gohan's boyfriend so fucking bad.
I noticed you two from across the universe.
I really dig your vibe.
Oh my God. Okay. Chris, you're number 20.
My number 20 is also the Supreme Kai.
Yeah!
All right.
Yes!
Not really for the same reasons, but mostly because he strikes me as someone who has, like, probably read a lot of books
Oh no.
about sex. And he's got it. He's read a couple books, so...
Yeah, he knows how it goes.
Yeah, he knows how it works.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He needs no further instruction.
Nah. You want to tell him to, like, adjust slightly to the right. He's like, no.
Oh no.
No, this is...
You do it like this.
This is the correct angle.
Oh God. Oh God. All right. James, you're number 20.
My number 20 is Beerus. He's a cat. I don't think he'd be the worst in the Dragon Ball universe, but he will make his intentions known by leaving a fragment of an annihilated planet on your doorstep.
That's hot. I like that.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
If you watch Super...
Oh, yes.
Okay, subs or dubs?
For half of it, I was watching subs, but moved over to dubs because as the child grew, it was harder to look at the screen while I was enjoying my animes.
Legit.
Beerus's dub voice does knock him up several spots.
Yeah.
I think.
He's definitely, I
That
absolutely
velvety-
prefer. Yes.
Interesting.
Oh,
He sounds so sleepy.
Interesting.
he's a sleepy guy.
He's a sleepy guy.
Moving on down to number 21, which is normally the bottom of our list, but I got talked into making this episode a big boy. Chris, you're number 21.
At 21, I have Yajirobe,
What?
which I don't understand any of you. This man has never washed his balls. Like, forget does Goku brush his teeth. We know Yajirobe doesn't shower. What are you doing? He lives at the top of a tower with a cat, with a magic cat that he's probably fucking, and he has never bathed.
I mean, that's a fair point. I don't want to bring bathing into the question around Dragon Ball characters because there are no good answers on this list.
There's a couple.
But there's no especially wrong answers for Yajirobe.
Oh no.
There's a couple of good answers and a couple of real bad ones.
James, who's your number 21?
My number 21 is Son Goku.
Ooh, wow.
I once saw a comic that implied on the night Gohan was conceived, Goku called Bulma and asked how to have sex. I am convinced that this is accurate, but I believe it is not accurate enough because I also think on the night Goten was conceived, he called her again to remind him of how to have sex. He doesn't care and doesn't know how it works. And this is not Ranma 1/2 universe where there is a sex martial art that he can become good at or would invest in. All Goku cares about is whether or not techniques are effective. So he's not going to put in the work and he's not going to get better. The man doesn't know what kissing is. He doesn't know what kissing is.
Okay. Annie, you're number 21.
It's Tien. And it's
Wow.
very much for many of the same reasons as other folks have listed. It's like Tien literally does not understand why you may not want to have sex with Chaozu in the room. Like, I mean, look, like, I could find a reason for this. Like, the third eye, if it is a real eye, doesn't really blink. It's always taking you in. You have undivided attention. Sure, that's hot. But, like, Chaozu is also not someone who blinks. He is also going to be standing right next to the bed the whole time, staring at you, never commenting, never asking questions, just doesn't blink. If you ever brought it up to Tien, he'd just be confused. He's never thought about closing the door on Chaozu. And if you did, Chaozu would do a thing like a cat where he just starts scratching at the door and sticking his little white hand underneath the door frame, just trying to get in.
Oh, if his face gets too close, just push him away. That's not the issue, Tien.
Tien goes to the bathroom and Chaozu comes with him. Like,
Oh, no.
and Tien just does not get it. Cannot do this.
How many times do you think Tien has said the phrase, "Don't worry, he's cool"?
Don't mind
And
him.
how often do you think that works?
Like, it's okay. He'll just sit in the corner. And it's like,
Yeah.
that doesn't fix it, my guy.
No, he's fine.
Just don't worry about him.
He's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to get to say some really wrong things later. That's going to be exciting for me.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
This ambiguously
Okay, thank
adult man mime. What is Chaozu?
It's really challenging is what he is.
I don't understand what he is.
It's like a weird little Cirque du Soleil man.
What the fuck, Chaozu?
All right. My number 21 is Videl.
Oh, wow.
As the character description said, she pegs. She definitely pegs. I don't even think she likes being fucked that much. I also think that she is a hardcore hair puller, and I suspect that Gohan has had to get a few haircuts in a hurry because of this woman. That said, again, I feel like I'm going to get yelled at. I don't want to get yelled at. Also, I know James is making a real face. Does Dragon Ball just hate all femme characters?
Yeah.
Is Dragon Ball just hate women?
It has the problem that a lot of shonen anime have, which is the main protagonist is going to be doing all of the most plot relevant things most of the time.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have female characters who were good at fighting early on. It's rolling over a lot from Dragon Ball. And like Bulma's a great character, straight up, absolutely adore her. She just doesn't fight people. And as fighting became more relevant in the series, there became less Bulma stuff to do. And they were left over with 1,000 male characters that they all need to pay nods to as they move ahead. And
it is some old school sexism, yeah.
Yeah.
It is some horny pervert sexism, like old school sexism shit where you just like don't have the female characters. And then like you put it in a shonen setting where fighting is the main thing. And if you don't have your female characters that can fight, well, they can't be as powerful as the male characters because they're ladies. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
And then you have like the male characters who are the rival characters, and they always have the emotional beats of pushing each other to do the emotional things. So the female character just sort of sits over there, occasionally being remembered and having feelings, but not enough feelings to actually like do anything besides sit there on the sidelines, clasp her hands dramatically, and say the name of the main character every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then ganbatte.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that Videl is actually kind of the first good female character in Dragon Ball in many ways.
Sure.
Seems like that.
And in many ways, yeah, because she's actually like treated as someone who has the full capability to do the things that Gohan does. He does not like treat her as being like less capable as him. It's just that he's been training since he was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
But with Goku's return, Videl unfortunately does what Chi-Chi does, which is she gets married, has a kid, and then is no longer in the story.
Yeah, you know how like all of the female characters in Naruto stopped really having things to do because you needed to focus on the rival characters not kissing, but having a lot of kissing feelings. So all the female characters just kind of like get married and have babies because please, we have a population crisis. Maybe have babies. Have babies. You'll love having babies. Just have lots and lots and lots of babies. Sexism. A lot of cultural sexism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. There's a hot minute where Vidal's great.
Man, there is.
Okay.
And then they were like, all right.
And the new ladies in Super. I like all the new Saiyans. I think they're all great.
Kale and Kefla are really, really good.
Toriyama's just like, all right, I'm moving on to Gohan. I'm doing cool things with Gohan. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. We're going to do new stuff with a new character. Like, hey, the JoJo guy can do it, right? And they're like, bring back Goku.
Yeah.
Bring back Goku.
Oh, no.
We do actually need to continue to sell t-shirts, so Goku has to be in this one.
We do need more things with Goku in them. Have you seen all the Takeros? We need more Goku.
Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Well, thank you. This is vital context because the first big anime that I saw, well, the only like giant kind of shonen is Bleach. And Bleach has ladies in it.
Right.
So this is very confusing.
Yeah.
Moving down to 22. Chris, you're number 22.
At number 22, I have put Master Roshi,
Okay.
Okay.
the Invincible Turtle Hermit, and Certified Pedophile.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Do you think he has to live on an island because that's the only way you can get away with not telling your neighbors
Wow.
that you're on a list?
Sure.
Yeah, like, look, it's unfortunate, but it's the truth.
Oh, man. Well, I'll look forward to being wrong more later. Yay.
Again, in Super, when he stops being such a fucking pervert for literally like 5 minutes, he stops being so weird. And to be fair, they justify it by saying, yeah, he's trained himself to take all of his weird horniness and focus it inward, and that has made him much stronger than he's ever been.
Yeah, he's perfect Volcel.
Perfect Volcel is incredible,
Wow.
Annie.
What?
Good job.
Thank you.
Great job.
Damn.
A+.
Thank you.
That's a great fucking joke.
I cede my time.
Thank you.
Ah.
Happy to be here.
Annie, who's your 22?
I'm actually in the same boat as Chris. My 22 is Yajirobe, much for the same reasons as his 21. Like, Dragon Ball is a world with a lot of animal people in it, right? They're all varying degrees of animal or people, but Corinne is very much a kitty cat.
Sure.
Like, he doesn't wear clothes like the King President Dog of Earth or whatever. He's got thumbs, but that doesn't make him more of a people per se. And Yajirobe is fucking that cat. He is a weird, sweaty mountain man who must smell so bad, who is then on top of that stank married to a cat with a stick who probably also doesn't wash himself enough and has probably got that, like, cat stank.
Oh,
like,
no.
where the litter hasn't been changed very often. There's piss in the air. Like, I'm good, man. I don't need to be the filling in that stinky cat hair sandwich.
Yeah, Beerus is a guy.
Beerus is a guy.
Corin's a cat.
He's a kitty cat. He's got thumbs, but he is absolutely a kitty cat.
He is a kitty cat. Yeah, for sure.
Nyan.
All right, James, who's your number 22? Yeah.
My number 22 is King Kai. This is going to be super unpleasant. He will give you an absolutely underwhelming performance and make the worst noises you have ever heard in your life while he is doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Goku.
Oh, yeah, you like that? That's right, I'm King Kai.
That's an upsettingly accurate King Kai.
Let's have sex, Goku.
Imagine that sweating and heaving over you. No, thank you. No, thank you, Mr. King Kai.
And he's like a hemisphere.
All right. Well, my number 22 is Big Feels. And it's Captain Ginyu and the Ginyu Force.
Okay.
I don't want to fuck you in your comedy troupe. I mean, I do, but also Also, I don't think that I should because you're not really here to fuck me. You're into fucking me because it's an opportunity to do shtick. And this feels like I'm being suckered into being the straight man to whatever Sentai shtick they want to do. It's not that I'm against it per se. It's that I fucking resent being dragged into a bit rather than like invited into a bit. That vibe always seems kind of selfish and suggests that as freaky a fuck as they give me, it's going to be on their terms without a lot of input from me, let alone my full awareness of what's happening in every moment. And let me emphasize, let me make very fucking clear, I am hot for a gang of weirdos. Listen to the Muppets episode.
Sure.
But like the Muppets would at least treat me like I'm a person and not a prop.
You're today's special guest. Yeah.
Except Gonzo, who would treat me like I'm both. Ugh, these guys. These fucking guys.
It does feel like a sexual encounter that's going to start with them asking for a suggestion for a location.
No me gusta. This is it. The bottom of the list. Number 23. James, you're number 23.
My number 23 is Cell. Mm-hmm. This is a guy who's got all the problematic eugenic views of Frieza, but he's also a gross bug. And into vor. So, no.
The vortail, though.
He's got a vor hole. It's a specific orifice for doing vors. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Chris, you're number 23.
At 23, I have also placed Cell.
Yes!
Oh.
For that exact... Like, is it vor if it's with, like, more with the butt?
It's so...
I think if there's, like, shape of the person in, like, the tube, I think that amps it up to vor.
But it's definitely not with the mouth.
Hey,
It's definitely more butt-based.
we're splitting a hair that would require an expert to really explain to us. And I don't think anybody wants that explanation.
That's true. That's true. No, Cell is a weirdo who wants you in his cloaca, and I don't like it, and I don't understand. Even though I was advocating for the Pope hat earlier.
Sure.
No, thank you. I just don't think that's the problem.
The most acceptable part of my entire situation.
Pretty much.
Annie, we know where you put Sal. Who's your number 23?
My 23 is Master Roshi. I just...
Okay.
You know how STIs are a huge problem among senior communities because they just run around having whatever unprotected sex they want because they're old and can't get pregnant?
Yeah.
But then they just sort of all conveniently forget that there are diseases you can get and infections from having unprotected sex. Well, imagine that, but also somehow this roiling pile of sexually transmitted infections is also an incel.
Sure.
And in my darkest moments, I wonder if he's fucking the turtle, but I think the turtle has too much self-respect for that.
Yeah.
Ah! Did you make a pun? You made a pun.
Did I?
I thought you said shell.
Oh, damn it. I missed that.
Okay.
Shelf respect.
Yeah,
self-respect.
that would have been good. That would have been good.
Sorry.
I wish I could take credit for that.
Okay, well, my number 23 is Mr. Satan. How many fucks have started with, hi, you might have heard of me. I'm, and then fill in the blank.
Sure.
And how many of those were good?
Yeah.
That's what I fucking thought.
Yeah, it's a real do you know who I am?
Yeah, it is. Nope. I do, and I don't like it, Hulk Hogan. Now we ascend back up to the top of the list with our top 11, I think, if I'm
Yes.
mathing correctly. All right. Yay. Annie, you're number 11.
My number 11 is Android 17. And 17 is absolutely the kind of hard choice as fuck where you are going to die at the end and you have to calculate whether or not it's worth it. But that does a lot. That's exciting. That's fun. Maybe I'll die. But like 17 loses points because at the end, he wouldn't even blast you with like hand lasers or ki or anything. He would just shoot you with his actual real gun. Like, at At least obliterate me with Ki Blast and annihilate large metropolitan areas, man. Give me some respect. Don't just shoot me with an actual gun after you nut. Come on.
All right, James, you're number 11.
My number 11 is a big feels moment because it's Piccolo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm making with this ranking of Piccolo being kind of in the middle of the list with him as my favorite character in Dragon Ball. But I can't get around the fact that I believe Piccolo is asexual. I do kind of think he's the sort of aspec partner who absolutely would have sex with you if you asked. But it's definitely not his thing. And I don't think he would half-ass things. I think if it's important to someone he loves, his pride would force him to strive to a certain level of competence. But it will stop once he sees himself as proficient. There's no desire or creativity for discovery beyond whatever it takes to get where he thinks he needs to be. This puts him in a strange category of a truly great partner to settle down and raise a family with, but not ideal for hookups, and sex wouldn't be the foundational part of any partnership with Piccolo.
My number 11 is Cell. I've always wanted to be fucked by a supergroup. I've said it many times, but Asia won't return my calls. So this seems like a really efficient way to achieve that. That said, I don't think it's good. I think it's confusing. Not that I don't want to fuck using a random encounters table, but a lot of the encounters here aren't great. So I think the sex is kind of like eating at Golden Corral.
So
You could get almost anything, and it's guaranteed to maybe kill you.
you're picturing sleeping with Cell as he is moving through his transformations while it's happening.
Maybe. That was my understanding of it, but I clearly don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I think that's fascinating. I really like that Cell's like, yeah, in order to have sex with me, you need to have sex with every version of me.
You know what's great is that kind of implies that, like, at regular intervals, there's just an android wandering in the back of the room that Cell just like, "Nyeh."
Yep.
Thanks, I hate it.
Pardon me. Let me just wait for a second to go grab a little snack.
All right, Chris, who's your number 11?
Well, speaking of having sex with every version of someone, at number 11, I put Launch.
Okay.
So I'm honestly surprised Launch hasn't fared better so far as the ultimate Switch.
I mean, dangerous, but okay.
Like, who doesn't love someone who can bust out a machine gun or have a cute Southern accent?
¿Por qué no los dos?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a sneeze away. Your dreams can come true.
All right. This continues MeganBob saying things that they're going to have to apologize for.
Bob, we are here for you.
Yes.
We love your takes.
We want to know the vibes.
We're here for you.
In your time of need.
Thank you. We're on to number 10. My number 10 is Master Roshi.
Yet honestly,
I had him at 12.
We know.
I had him at 12 because I was not thinking about the fact that, oh, yeah, that's right. The perv thing also made him a pedophile. And that's a tough thing to forget.
I know I said that we were here to support you, but that was a lie, it turns out. So.
No. This is MeganBob, noted Peepum's lover.
Yeah, that's true.
Roshi had to be higher on their list than anyone else's. This is the way the world works.
Also, at least this guy in the world of Dragon Ball, at least this guy definitely jerks off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not everything. But in this list of characters that generally don't care that much about sex, to this neophyte's eyes, this is a guy I could fuck all day before we get high and then eat an entire pizza while watching TV. Is anyone else on this list even going to be able to get it up without the fate of the universe being involved?
Bob, I'm going to say this. I think you could fix him.
Really? I mean, I could try. It's not that this is a standout fuck.
What you just described, I think that would fix him.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think that would fix him. But I think it's a better scenario than anything else.
I have to say, I at least respect that this man has heard of work-life balance. There's a couple of characters on this list who have some sense of what that is, and like, good for them. James, you're number 10.
My number 10 is Captain Ginyu and the Ginyu Force. This
All right.
is the Michael Bay movie of novelty fucks. There is going to be production value. There is going to be choreography. There is going to be dazzle.
Ooh.
Most of it will not go anywhere productive, but it will be an experience.
I have to go next. Captain Ginyu and the Ginyu Force is also my 10.
Yes!
Yes!
I approach this one thinking about in the same way that I think about having sex with Mysterio in the Spider-Man episode, in that, like, this is not necessarily going to be good sex, but it's going to be incredibly memorable. Like, these fucking idiots are the funniest orgy ever. It's you and these 5. They're doing coordinated sex moves. They're yelling out poses like they're the fucking Power Rangers standing in front of an explosion every time they thrust or grope or kiss. Like, at the end, they all do that group pose where they come at the same time, and suddenly when they yell, you're just covered in like 5 guys worth of spunk. The worst part is when you've got one in your pussy, one up your ass, they're seesawing while yelling their poses and their action calls, and they've got rhythm in the same way a ticking clock has rhythm, which is that the hips don't roll. They just clip from 45 to 115 degrees, and you can definitely tell when they're high-fiving over your head.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I also like the fact that every clueless move that they make will have a name. So you'll 100% be certain that they meant to, like, grab your eyebrow or whatever.
Like the funniest experience. Never repeat it, but fucking hilarious to experience just to be a part of that.
I mean, the danger here, the real danger is if it is a repeat appearance, like, you're going to be part of that polycule eventually. You're either going to walk away from that being like, well, I'll never do that again, or you're going to get fitted for that weird armor and then start joining the rest of the clowns in the clown show.
Man, sounds mondo cool.
Oh, Lord.
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
Mondo cool.
All right, Chris, who's your number 10?
Number 10, I put Yamcha.
Okay.
There's a lot of Yamcha slander on this podcast.
Christopher.
A lot of
Yamcha.
Okay, look, if your thing with Master Roshi is that at least he jerks off, Yamcha's one of the few characters that we know fucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yamcha fucks. That alone should put him higher than a lot of the talk that I've heard today.
Here goes the Yamcha apologist is logged on.
Well, the thing about Yamcha is, Yamcha tends to get a lot of women, canonically, but he doesn't keep them. So I don't think he's that good, and I don't think he's a very, like, attentive lover. But he does have something to draw you in, which is that he's probably, like, the 5th strongest human being to ever live, and also has cool scars.
He's the greatest baseball player to ever live. That's canon!
And is the greatest baseball player of all time. Yeah. Like you said, cool desert bandit boy.
Terrified of women.
Sure.
The only thing that's actually, like, genuinely cute about early Dragon Ball is, like, teen Yamcha and teen Bulma's relationship, where they're both very shy around each other, despite the fact that they are both extremely cool. Bulma obviously continues being cool. Yamcha, not so much. But
somewhere after the first World Martial Arts Tournament, he decides to fall off, and he keeps falling.
Yeah, I think this is the one arena in which Yamcha has a fighting chance. And I think we should give that to him. He's in my top 10.
James, you're number 9.
My number 9 is Launch. I think personality A would be a fluffy and nice time. A cotton candy fuck. And personality B is a mean top who rides a motorcycle. Also, one of the few characters who could hit you without you having to worry about them accidentally making you instantly atomize into a gory paste. So,
it's true.
There are some advantages here.
Okay. Annie, you're number 9.
It's also launch.
Yes!
Yeah! And the thing is that I never really watched much Dragon Ball beyond the first arc, so it's mostly vibes on launch just for the pitch alone. I'm here for it. She's a Hakushon personality change character. Like, let's do it. Give me the danger. Let's fuck during hay fever season.
Yeah.
I'll do both at once. I love it. I'm here for it.
Chris, you're number 9.
At number 9, I put King Kai.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Fascinated.
Brave for a person who puts voice as a key factor.
Listen.
Yeah, we're listening.
I think maybe y'all are just sleeping a little bit on heavier dudes who like to make a lot of jokes. That's all I'm saying. I think maybe there should be a little bit more respect shown to that particular demographic.
I put it pretty high.
He's higher on mine.
I feel like it depends on how good the jokes are. That's the problem.
That's true.
You got if you're making good jokes, you can pull. If they're bad jokes, you're King Kai.
Keep in mind, he lived alone for a very long time.
He had that fucking grasshopper around.
Yeah, he did. He had Gregory and Mr. Bubbles.
Wow.
They don't talk.
Gregory talks.
Gregory talks.
I mean, I don't know if he says anything worthwhile, but he talks.
He does talk.
Give King Kai a break. That's all I'm saying.
Aw. Okay, well, my number 9 is Goku.
Okay.
Look, I don't think Goku necessarily fucks, but there's so much dog boy in Goku. Not like the Rift's character class, but he doesn't share zero DNA with that vibe. I think he's like pure golden retriever, and like whatever you want him to do, I think you can probably get him to do. And I think if you do put him to like eating pussy, he will just keep doing it like his life depends on it. Get absolutely lost in the sauce. Not everyone can do that. I think Goku would even whine if you like pulled him away.
Ooh.
I think he will sit, stay, beg, roll over. I also think absolutely will come on command. Yes, he does know how to speak. I don't recommend you use that trick.
I have some great news for you about a little anime and manga called Inuyasha.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard the good word of Inuyasha?
Tell me more.
I mean, any of Rumiko Takahashi's work,
true.
I think Bob could benefit from.
It's
Ranma
true.
is probably more fun, but
Inuyasha is a half-dog demon.
Okay.
If you want a dog boy who will sit and stay.
He literally has to sit and stay. It's part of like a gash on him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
but he's bratty about it.
He is bratty about it.
Nah. All right, James, you're number 8.
My number 8 is Supreme Kai.
Okay.
And I just want to top him so bad. He's the over god of the universe, but an anxious little cutie pie who's kind of naive. Incredible. I would make him my good god.
No. That's so cute. Okay, Chris, you're number 8.
At number 8, I put Chi-Chi. Largely based on the strength of her initial return appearance in the Strongest Under the Heavens 23rd Martial Arts Tournament, where she's great. But also because, look, yes, Chi-Chi is a character who has been character assassinated thoroughly. She is a little bit of a shrill harridan.
Yeah.
She yells at Goku, and even though all Goku has done is literally save the world on multiple occasions, she is a woman who just wants her husband to get a fucking job. And I feel like that's reasonable.
Yeah, no, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Totally. There are a lot of reasonable gripes that Chi-Chi could have with Goku. It's just the one day that he came home with literal billions of dollars and she just spent it all immediately to force him to keep being a farmer. That's weird.
You know,
That's weird.
women be shopping.
Nah.
Yeah, but also it's like, if you give him any excuse to not be at home,
He will take
Yeah.
it.
Goku's gonna not be at home.
Yeah.
Even if he's alive, he'll take it.
The end of Dragon Ball, spoilers, MeganBob. The end of Dragon Ball is that Goku drops by his house and goes, hey, I'm gonna go to this village and raise this other child who's not mine. Have fun with the kids, Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Chi-Chi has some understandable frustrations.
Yeah, oh, she does.
In the world where Chi-Chi was an actual character, which is not the world where we live,
No.
unfortunately, there's a lot of good there.
Chi-Chi could be so great.
I think if you were at all reasonable with Chi-Chi, she'd be a much better romantic and sexual partner.
Chi-Chi and Padme Amidala just need to, like, get together on weekends, just get some coffee and talk about how absolutely assassinated their characters were, and then probably, like, eat each other's pussies.
Yeah, I think that's true. This is facts.
Just eat each other out.
Every time you say pussy, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Andy.
Happy to delight.
All right, Annie, you're number 8.
My number 8 is Android 18. Like, she's mean to me. She's basically unkillable. She looks great in any outfit, and she adores her tiny husband, which means that she's basically the final Pam. She gets some real Karen-ass hair at some point, especially, like, the look has, like, athleisure wear with it, but, like, nothing against athleisure wear, but the combo with the Karen hair is, like, questionable, but I feel like she uses her powers for good. Like, 18 is a real, excuse me, he asked for no pickles kind of woman. And there's
Yeah.
also good odds that she will kill you after sex, but the thing is that with 18, like, if she doesn't kill you, I kind of feel let down about it.
My number 8 is Bulma. I think she's a huge brat who likes being in charge and sometimes tops, much to Vegeta's eternal frustration. But also maybe he's into it. Like, I think she definitely pouted in response to having her hair pulled, which, girl, I don't think you and I can relate. This is sex where I would definitely get yelled at. That's not me saying she's a pillow princess, because she can hold her own. But mostly the vibe I get from her is that she wants to be treated right. Fire emoji, blowing a kiss emoji, nail painting emoji. I'm going to go for number 7 because my number 7 is Yajirobe, because I didn't understand the cat thing that was happening.
Oh, we brought it up a lot in the email chain,
man.
Bob.
I know, but I didn't know what was... look, it was like you guys were saying, like, you were just saying the names of different kinds of pasta.
Hey, I don't know how many... I will do a search in that email right now for the instances of he fucks the cat, but there are a lot.
And it wasn't like,
there
it's
were.
not like a euphemistic cat. No.
Okay, well,
It's
I fucked up.
He fucks that
No,
cat.
no,
look-
no. I want to hear the AU in which Yajirobe doesn't fuck a cat. I want to
Yeah.
hear the
Okay.
AU take that you've got. I'm
Okay,
here for
this
it.
is the AU where he doesn't fuck a cat.
Rad.
This man wants to eat, be left alone, and do some fishing. In short, this man is relatable. He loves pleasure, which means he probably can actually enjoy a really good fuck. Like, I don't know if you can get rough athletic sex out of him, but for like a pre-Jack in the Box bro fuck, where you can both just kind of like sigh with delight as you bask in the naked afterglow and like flick through the DoorDash menu. Baby, let's be wild tonight. Tonight, we're going to double dash. Oh, we could get Jack in the Box and Taco Bell, nachos and curly fries. Oh, I'm going to come before the food does.
Yeah, man.
I like this AU.
He'll double dash with me.
I like it.
There's a lot of food people on this list, and I'm very into that part of it. I mean, not just that they're named with food.
It's the second most important thing in Dragon Ball.
That is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
How many, like, Dragon Ball cookbooks are there? Are there, like, a bunch? Seems like there
No,
would be.
I don't know.
I don't.
I haven't seen one.
Because you don't have
Oh,
many
really?
recipes for a big circle of meat with that single bone stuck through it.
Yeah. I mean, literally, he named his son Rice
Rice.
because his adoptive father was named Rice.
Oh, my fucking God.
And his name's Carrot.
And his name's Garrett. Like, rice / meal, depending on how you want to parse it. But, like, food. This is my son, food.
My son food. Okay, Annie, who's your number 7?
My number 7 is King Kai.
Good for you.
I mean, like, honestly, he loves a shitty joke. He loves playing video games. He walks around in 10 times Earth's gravity all day, so he's in shape. Like, he wouldn't be an incredible lay, but he would just be fun to have sex with. Like, he would make you laugh. He'd make jokes about those goofy little fart noises your stomachs make against each other. Like, he'd make you a sandwich afterwards. Like, you wouldn't have your tiny world rocked or anything, but you would have a great time together. And, like, honestly, I was thinking about it, and just my instinct is that King Kai also probably throws key parties with, like, all of his friends who come down the snake's way. Like,
Sure.
that is something that, thinking about it, I'm pretty sure happens sometimes when he's not babysitting all of Goku's extended friends. I will not be taking further questions at this time.
Oh, this key party universe. I'm very intrigued. Okay. James, you're number 7.
My number 7 is Yamcha,
Oh, no.
Wow.
a person who... Look, I've been thinking about Yamcha a lot. This is definitely a big feels here.
Oh, okay.
This is me rating Yamcha partially on potential, and that is based on the premise of this show. There have been a lot of salient points made about Yamcha. I think currently he is being weighed down by fumbling the biggest baddie in the universe. There's no way that any relationship that Yamcha has formed post-Bulma is not in some way undermined by the fact that he's thinking about how badly he fucked up with Bulma. That has been explored a couple of times within the canon itself, so I think that is holding him back. But the premise of this show says that we are into him and he is into us. I think if Yamcha actually met someone that he was into, it could change his life permanently. He has a lot of insecurity based around the fact that he can only excel so far in absolutely insane martial arts. He is definitely one of the strongest humans to ever live, but he's not pushing that any farther. And he didn't succeed at objectively the best choice romantically, so now he's kind of floundering where nothing means anything to him. But if you gave meaning to his life, if you appeared on the stage and he cared about you and pleasing you was something that became important to him, this is a dude who trained with Master Roshi, which, as somebody who's watched Dragon Ball very recently, that's not easy. That's a dude who's like making you carry literal tons worth of rocks while you go on a several miles long hike. He had the dedication. He had the spirit to make it through that experience. Did he get up to the big show where everybody else was shooting gigantic beams at planets and blowing them up and fumble? Yes, but he's still probably powerful enough to blow up the moon, and he did that all with gumption. Imagine what he could do for your genitalia. Plus, and I can't emphasize this enough, he's very good at baseball.
Extremely good at baseball.
You would probably get to go to the World Series like every time, you know?
That would be pretty good.
I do like a baseball.
Love a baseball.
Also, in the fighting games, he always looks really cool because he does the wolf fang fist, so...
I love the wolf fang fist.
Yeah, and Wolf Fang Fist fucking cool, and like he definitely have some sexual equivalent of the Wolf Fang Fist, which you know you're gonna love. And of course, I would top him right back into that crater that he's so famous for. So Yamcha.
I mean, shit, I guess if he's an expert at curling his fingers in a particular way.
We're all seeing a little bit of justice for our friend Yamcha.
Thank you. Thank you. You and me, James, Predator handshake.
Yamcha fuckers.
I appreciate your fix-it fic that you have brought to the table today.
Again, if part of the premise of the show wasn't that he was into you, then I feel like, well, he's going to be struggling against all of those issues. This is the assumption that Yamcha gets another priority.
All right. Compelling. Chris, you're number 7.
At number 7, I have put the Prince of the Saiyans, Vegeta.
Yes.
Wow. First appearance of Vegeta on the list.
That's right, boys. Here's the thing about Vegeta. Vegeta sucks, like, as a person. Like, Vegeta kind of canonically a bad person, even after his redemption arc, kind of remains a shitty person in many ways. Vegeta did also land, as James put it, the hottest baddie in the universe. There's gotta be something there. I think the trick with Vegeta, and a trick that I would 100% believe Bulma has used, is you just tell him that Goku's not very good at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just go, yeah, you know, Chi-Chi tells me Goku doesn't really fuck that well. And Vegeta's like, Kakarot! I will surpass him. In this. Pygmy woman! Like, immediately. Like, yeah, this is training, bud. This will get you right up to Super Saiyan 3.
Oh my God.
I do also like that Goku's kind of ultimate form as of right now, because he may always get another one, is Ultra Instinct, which is when his brain turns off.
Yeah.
And his body just fights by itself.
It was
So
on?
he's using even less brain than usual. Vegeta cannot achieve that form because Vegeta cannot attain inner peace.
Yeah.
So his ultimate form, taught to him by the God of Destruction, is Ultra Ego, which is where he just goes apeshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And I feel like,
Is it racist to say a Saiyan is going ape shit?
no.
You're right, because they're monkeys. They have tails.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you're getting real close to Frieza territory,
Yeah.
Annie.
That is true.
Vegeta just goes wild, like, when he gets really in the zone, and I feel like that cannot be overlooked as a compelling reason to romance the Prince of All Saiyans.
Yeah.
He's got something to prove.
Every time he unlocks a new form, he's gonna fuck you in that form.
Yes.
That's kind of fun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's gonna insist on it.
Yeah. He has to know the extent of his power.
That's very compelling. Well, we move on now to number 6, and I'm going to go because I have some big feels, and it is Vegeta.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Like, what if big dick energy, but with a pouty face? And don't take this to mean that I'm not hot for Vegeta, because I am. He's unhinged and passionate. But I don't think, and maybe you guys can convince me otherwise, I don't think he can be won over by my bullshit. Like, if I kneel down and smile up at him, he's not going to respond with, like, anything warm. I'll be lucky if I get anything more in response to my, frankly, legendary love of dick sucking. Then, yeah, of course you love sucking dick. It's my dick you're sucking. And yes, that's hot. But also, don't fucking no-sell me, bro. You gotta put me over, like, at least a little.
Well, here's the thing, Bob. You described a scenario where you were kneeling down in front of him, so you're looking at him at eye level.
Pretty much, yeah. Gotta get him an apple box.
Yeah.
God, he's 2 inches shorter than I am. I don't get to see that very often. Most of my friends are taller than me.
I didn't know he was a tiny. I thought he was like,
he's a little guy.
He's
got to reach up to choke me. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
I get this.
Well, he can also float.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can't fly.
Oh, okay. I mean, but it'll be more fun if he like has to reach up. But I wanted to be obsessed with me the way he is with being the best. I don't think I can get that from him. So the sex, no matter how good, never going to feel as good because I know I'm not going to be his priority. And I'm like, no, pay attention to me. But no. But he's got that voice. Okay, we move on to James's number 6. James, take it away.
My number 6 is Videl. Videl went from being a competent and normal martial artist to actually learning how to fly. That means if she wants something, she has the determination to achieve anything.
Wow.
And now you're telling me that she wants me?
Wow.
Imagine what she could achieve if she devoted her heart to something horny.
All right. Annie, you're number 6.
My number 6 is Beerus, who is the cat that Corinne tells you not to worry about.
Yeah.
Like, again, I haven't like watched or read much material with Beerus, but reading just a little bit about this guy, and I started like slapping the table and pointing my finger at the screen going, that one!
Yes.
This is a shitty cat monster, man. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Knock that full glass of water off the table, baby. Make a mess because someone denied you a pudding. I'm going to scratch him on the top of his head and massage his ears, and I'm going to get one of the guiltiest pleasures a monster fucker can get. I'm going to fuck somebody who purrs.
Yes! Yes! Oh, so good. So good.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Oh, man. I'm going to read my fanfic later.
I'm glad that Beerus ranks for someone. That's good.
I also just like Cornish Rexes and Sphinx cats and hairless cats. They're just like...
I love a hairless cat.
They're a great kind of like freaky looking. They're a weird little uggos. I love them.
They're weird little monsters, yeah.
I love a goblin cat.
Also, like, if like he is a hairless cat and he has that texture, then like all of him is going to be that like really interesting velvety kind of like hairless feel.
Sure.
Including the dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, you're number 6.
At number 6, I have put the dad who stepped up, Piccolo.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
I think Piccolo's sensitive interior is underrated. Because, yes, you talk about things that Piccolo has done. That was when Piccolo was 3 guys ago.
All right, fair point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Piccolo is literally at least 2 different guys now. And I feel like Piccolo, the sensitive guy, Piccolo who has a smartphone with a cute case that has a penguin cat on it, that's the Piccolo I like. Now, Piccolo does come from a monogender species that does reproduce parthenogenetically by vomiting eggs. So
Normal stuff.
there is that, but I feel like Piccolo's also willing to learn and willing to better himself. And also, as Kami, he's seen a lot.
Wow, yeah.
That's a good point.
Piccolo's seen a lot. Also, I have always thought it would be really funny if anyone's into like orgasm denial or getting permission to orgasm to like ask Piccolo for that and hear, "Do it now, Gohan!" I think would be very funny.
You know what I just pictured? I just pictured like...
Piccolo fucking Gohan and...
No. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay.
No, what I just pictured was basically Piccolo trying to figure out how to have sex and how to please you. And basically he's got like Kame, Nail, and Piccolo meeting inside his head to just sort of like try to debate it. Like, okay, so what if you like 3 guys crouched over a video game controller trying to win?
Mm-hmm.
They call that image training.
I love this. I love this. Okay, we move on now to number 5. Annie, who's your number 5?
My number 5 is Chi-Chi. Listen. She works so fucking hard, and she's overlooked, she's underappreciated, she's left behind at the earliest opportunity. She's a martial artist who had to retire when it became clear that her shitty husband was never going to actually parent his kids.
Mm-hmm.
What you do with Chi-Chi is this is all a service job. Like, you get her a massage, you give her mani-pedi, a facial, you hire cleaners for the house, tutors for the kids, a weekend getaway with food and wine and whatever else she wants. And you take pleasure in watching her unspool. Like, you rub out all that tension. You see her let go of tension in her shoulders that she has been carrying for like 15 years. Like, you listen to her sigh, and then you gently eat her pussy out with just such tenderness and care, and you give her exactly the kind of sex where you make her feel seen and treasured and loved, because nothing matters except her pleasure. And then for round 2, you let her fuck your living brains out and use whatever toy she wants on you, because that is also about what she wants. Give Chi-Chi what she deserves, god damn it. And it will just feel so rewarding to let this woman finally feel appreciated for once.
That's beautiful.
Chi-Chi deserves so much better.
Thank you.
Agreed.
James, you're number 5.
My number 5 is Android 18. Folks, This one left the factory as an indomitable dynamite sex queen. It is so obvious that she is a dom and that Krillin has some of the absolute wildest sex in the Dragon Ball canon. The only reason that she is not higher on the list is because I believe most of us would be killed.
Yes.
You need to be Krillin level to keep up with her. You would die, but it would absolutely be worth it.
Chris, you're number 5.
My number 5 is Gohan.
Okay.
All right.
Gohan as an adult is my favorite Dragon Ball character. Adult Gohan in Dragon Ball Super is the best. Because he's the one who went and got a job.
Sure.
He's a responsible husband and father. He loves his wife and kid. There's a bit, it's in the Dragon Ball superhero movie and in that chapter of the manga, where Piccolo goes to yell at him because he's not been keeping up with his martial arts training, and he's so excited because he has a job as an entomologist. And he talks about how there's ants that can bioluminesce and it glows, and he's like, they're like Super Saiyan ants.
Gohan.
And he's so happy about it. Also, canonically, he wears glasses because when he's not a Super Saiyan, he can't see very well. He does not need them when he is Super Saiyan.
That is so cute.
He is adorable, and I love him. And also, he did save the world when he was like 13 by exploding Cell.
Yeah.
Yeah. With one of his arms out.
With one of his arms not working. Also, Gohan in a different alternate future where he only has one arm, because that's the Cell future,
That's true.
is also hot as hell.
Yes.
Love Gohan.
He's also like Future Trunks adjacent, so, you know.
Yeah.
Also, Gohan's the one who didn't need to go get a job because his wife's rich,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
but he did it anyway because he loves the little ants.
Yeah.
He loves those ants.
He loves the little bugs.
Aww.
He's got life force from those little guys before.
That's cute.
Yeah. Also, he's the strongest one. He has untapped power that he uses and goes into beast mode.
Ooh.
If you're making out with Gohan and you get that snap red line behind his head, that's when you know the shit is on.
That's the good shit. That's the good shit.
That's good.
Love Gohan.
My number 5 is Whis. Whiz?
Whis?
Whis.
Whis?
Whis?
What is it?
It's like whiskey.
The Angel Man.
Oh. Okay, whiskey. Okay.
Okay. Like,
Oh, Beerus and Whisk. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. All of the angels and gods of destruction are named after alcoholic drinks. There's a martini.
I mean, alcohol is the liquid of the gods or whatever. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
that's cute. If you have never been with someone with whom you could talk in loving detail about exactly what you were going to eat before and after you absolutely tore each other's clothes off, I do not know what to tell you. I am a hedonist. I fuck with other hedonists. Also, is it so wrong that I want someone to eat foie gras off my tits? I mean, morally,
yes.
morally, yes. But sexually, Wiz, baby, you tell me. I know, morally, yes.
Sure.
All right, we move on now to number 4. James, you're number 4.
My number 4 is Whis.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's the thing, man. Whis could teach you things. If there are secret sexual techniques in the Dragon Ball universe, Whis knows them. And if he's interested in you, he will, and I cannot emphasize this enough, attempt to cultivate you. He will help you reach your peak sexual potential. The problem here, the reason that he's not at the top of the list, is I don't think he is invested in you beyond what is necessary to achieve your sexual ascension. Despite unlocking your potential, I'm not sure it would be much fun to do anything with him beyond that, because he is the pathway, not the destination.
That's deep. That's deep stuff. All right. Chris, you're number 4.
At number 4, I have Android 18.
Okay.
She's so mean. She's just so mean. She's so hot. One of the things that I do like about Android 18 is that, much like my wife, 18 has autistic Riz,
Okay.
which is that she seems very deadpan and aloof and like very cool in the kind of classic sense, which is very alluring. But then like, oh no, it's just she's not expressing all of her emotions. And I think what really unlocks that is that there is a scene in Dragon Ball Super where Krillin has to like go fly off to do something. And this is after he's been out spending a day with 18 and Miran, their daughter. And she's like, yeah, go ahead. I know you have to go fight. And Krillin's like, hey, I'm sorry, I'll make it up to you. And he flies off. And then she watches him fly off and she gets the little blush lines and goes, he's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that about her
That's awesome.
because that also doesn't mean that she's not mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still mean.
Yeah.
Android 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thumbs up to Android 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love Android 18.
Beautiful. Annie, you're number 4.
Speaking of people that are mean, my number 4 is Vegeta.
Nice.
He's like Goku in that he sees sex as a fight, and he is going to win that fight and be the prince of all sex. The difference between them is that Vegeta knows what sex is, and he also knows that he may be the prince of all sex, but his wife, Bulma, is the empress of all sex, and he loves his hot super genius wife. And he also understands that the objective of sex, winning at sex, means that the other person comes really, really hard. Like, he understands that the objective isn't, and it's not even necessarily that destination, it's the entire thing. His victory parameters are far more broad than Goku's could ever be, even if Goku understood what sex was.
Yeah.
And like, as a top, Vegeta's the kind of angry shit that you really want to be a bratty bottom for, because he is going to win, but you don't want to make it easy for him. But like, he shines as a bottom because he never admits how obviously he loves to be pegged by his hot super genius wife. Never will admit it. Even when you are buried up to the hilt in his ass, he will never admit that he is enjoying it. And there's something really charming about that kind of obstinance. He's such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Piccolo. I want to fuck this man.
Yeah.
I want to fuck him. I want to care for him and let him do whatever the fuck he wants. He's so fucking sweet, but also sometimes a nutcase. One of my favorite flavor combinations. Is he going to wreck my pussy? I mean, I hope so. But more importantly, he seems like the kind of top that like just cares so much. He's going to be there like developing the scene with you, checking in. He monitors whether you're enjoying it in the moment. He takes like such a fucking good care of you. His aftercare seems like legendary, next level. He will aftercare you so hard that you'll go into subspace just from that, just from the way that he wipes a warm washcloth over you and says that you're beautiful. Piccolo will give you that. He's worth putting on a collar for. Also, to steal a line from Annie Craton, Big Green Monster Man.
Big Green Monster Man, though.
Yeah, Big Green Monster Man, though. Yeah, all right. And now we move on to number 3. Annie, you're number 3.
My number 3 is Krillin.
All right.
Because, listen, Krillin is Roger Rabbit. Like, he's a normal fucking guy who's just worked really hard his entire life. He gets punched, he gets beaten up, he fucking dies, he gets up and gets back to it. And then he gets his back blown out by Android 18 every night. That's the thing. He is Roger Rabbit. Like, when you ask Jessica Rabbit what she sees in her husband, she says without hesitating, he makes me laugh. There's just something about Krillin that maybe not a lot of people see. He's not the guy you'd expect, but he's the guy I respect. Krillin will put the fucking work in to fucking you. He's the guy that shows up. He puts you in his calendar. He remembers your birthday. He sends you memes he thinks you'll like. He's the adult who makes conscious time for you and makes you feel like you are a priority in his life. He is going to take the time to figure out what you like and what you want to see and what makes you feel amazing, because Krillin puts in the fucking work and he deserves it.
I love this. I love this so much. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to say some things that probably are wrong because this is my AU.
Bob, we're in the threes. You've been doing this the whole episode. We are happy to hear your takes.
Yeah.
Tien Shin Han.
Let's hear it.
I'm listening.
This man starts out the show with what? Like one friend. One fucking friend. Fucking that guy is the best. It is so much fun. It is so hot. It is so cool to be the one person at the party who the cat wants to hang out with. You're like, oh, I'm the best. I'm great. If this guy wants to fuck you, this is huge. It also feels like he would need to surpass like a specific threshold of horniness to actually bother talking to someone. That alone is hot. Don't you want to be fucked for like, not just because you're the one who's willing to say yes, because you're the one who's like, well, I couldn't stay away, so here I am. Like, that's fantastic. Also, big, I'm going to make overly intense eye contact during this fuck energy. Yes, I want that. It's fine if his weird little friend is there. I don't care.
I love this vibe read.
That's such an important decision you have to make if you're going to rate Tien well.
I think if you're willing to have Chaozu in the room, you're going to get along great with Tien.
You know what? I'm going to make dominant eye contact with Chaozu. I'm going to scare him.
Holy shit.
Be like, oh, I'm having a fucking amazing time.
He doesn't blink.
Yeah, I know. But I'm going to like, oh, no, I think I can scare him away. I think he's going to be afraid of me.
I like that. I fucking love that moxie.
This is good.
Thank you. I have different skills. Yeah, Chris, you're number 3.
At number 3, I have placed Videl.
Okay.
I feel like we are ignoring the fact that her full name is Videl Satan.
You know, that's fair.
Sure. Yeah. Wow.
That's fair.
That alone,
That's on me.
Yeah.
that's a big draw for me. Short hair, bike shorts, oversized t-shirt Videl.
Oh, yeah.
One of the great looks of all time. Like, cutting her own hair, because she's not going through it.
She did give herself bangs.
Because Gohan goes, hey, you know, long hair is not like great for fighting because somebody can grab it. And so the next time you see her, she has cut her own hair into a hot punk style. That's great. Videl with a bob in the go-go dress with the devil on it. Second all-time look. Videl's great. I wish that she didn't get married, have a child, and immediately stop being a person. But prior to that, I had a team on Dragon Ball Fighters that my wife walked in and saw. I was on the character select screen, and it was Android 18, Android 21, and Videl. And I said, look, babe, it's all 3 kinds of hot girl. We love Videl.
We love Videl.
This is beautiful.
Also, yes, didn't just learn how to fly. Learned how to fly in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was like, has the strongest Lois Lane energy in the best way.
Oh, yeah.
In that there's a
Sure.
superhero running around, and she's like, I gotta find out who this guy is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love Videl.
Yeah.
James, you're number 3.
My number 3.
Is Prince Vegeta.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, big feels. One of the most important things in sexual mastery is passion. And Vegeta is 80% passion by volume. Sure, there's not much to him, but most of that is passion. And he aims to be the best at all things. And if you inspire him to take pride in his sexual prowess, he will break the universe in his quest to become greater. I also, and this is important to me, believe that Vegeta's favorite song is Prince of the Universe by Queen. And I believe that he listens to this song while he works out in the gravity chamber while staring at posters of Freddie Mercury and Tom of Finland pinups. And he does
Yes.
Ooh.
this. He does this because he just thinks they're really cool. And anytime anybody has asked them about those things, all he says is,
They're just such great warriors.
And that's not really germane to the conversation about how good he is at sex, but that is a truth about Vegeta that needs to be spoken into the universe. And I cannot imagine another podcast where it would be appropriate to talk about that. So here we are, Vegeta.
This is real. That's real.
Number 3. Especially if we look at the GT canon, because I do believe part of his look in that show is inspired by Freddie Mercury.
With the
mustache would make sense in that context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love this so much. All right, we're into our top 2. James, your number 2.
My number 2 is Gohan. Of course.
Yeah!
Of course, Gohan. He's one of the only characters in the Dragon Ball universe who is invested in stuff that is outside of fighting, despite being really good at fighting. He has the passion, he has the drive, he has the willpower to ascend to beast mode. Imagine him applying that to the object of his affection. There is a reason that marriage works so well.
I love this.
Hey, James. It's also Gohan for me!
Yeah! Yes!
Like, Gohan is like a wow boobs, but not in the way where he's like impressed in a lovably dopey way. He's just genuinely enthusiastic for your boobs every single time. He always thinks he's really fortunate to get to be with you, and you're with like one of the most powerful people in the known universe. Like, he is having a great time. He can fly. He's a caring lover. He always thinks about his partners. Talk about Videl having Lois Lane energy. Gohan has big Clark Kent energy. And everything that is great about having sex with Clark Kent / Superman, you can say about Gohan. He's just a genuinely good guy. Gohan has such big Clark Kent energy. He wears glasses as an adult just on his regular stuff when he's not superheroing around. And plus, Gohan has just done the work to break generational cycles. He's gone to therapy. And another generational cycle he is breaking is the fact that both of his dads are awful at sex. And he's great at it. He's just like a genuinely good guy. He's got bugs. He loves his bugs. He's just like a nerd. He's the best.
I love this. I love this so much. Chris, who's your number 2?
Coming in at number 2, I have Bulma.
Yeah.
Bulma Briefs.
Yep.
The canonical smartest and hottest woman alive.
Yeah.
Look, I respect that you put Gohan where you did. I am, unfortunately, heterosexual.
Sure.
And so there's a reason, like, my top 5 is kind of rounded out with Android 18, Videl, and Bulma.
I always forget that Chris is disabled.
Yeah. I'm not happy about it either.
I know. You're missing out, but, you're doing your best.
But Bulma is amazing. Bulma is such a weirdo. And the fact that she grows up to be the coolest and smartest woman alive, who puts the Prince of the Universe in his place because he has never met a woman like her before.
Oh, it's my favorite thing.
She's great. And also, I love the way Toriyama draws her on, like, the chapter break pages and the pinup pages where she's always got, like, some kind of cool machine or a machine gun. Bulma's great. I also love that in order to keep the Dragon Balls out of the hands of evildoers, she uses a great deal of her money to task people to go find the Dragon Balls whenever they're out and about. And when they gather them up, she just makes frivolous wishes so that they can't be used for evil, which also includes keeping it tight. Magically.
Yep.
Because, according to Vegeta, Saiyans don't really start showing their age until about 80.
So
she wants to keep up.
She got to keep up.
She's got to stay competitive.
Yeah.
Bulma wants to be a hot 80.
Yep.
And I think we can all respect that.
Yep.
Yeah.
She has had some of the worst haircuts in Dragon Ball, but also some of the best.
She makes some of the worst ones kind of work sometimes, though.
I do kind of like the big poofy one.
The big poofy one is important because not only is it what she's wearing when everybody meets gender icon Future Trunks, but also that's the one that she's wearing when we find out that she's going to bang Vegeta.
Yeah.
But, like, the side pony is excellent. The short hair with the scarf, excellent. We love Bulma.
We love Bulma.
We truly do.
I'm going to talk about Beerus now for my number 2.
Yes. MeganBob, yes.
And I am not a good person.
What? No.
If you have never had the experience of feeling completely high on yourselves with a romantic partner, laying around naked and doing nothing, I just don't know what to tell you. There's feeling yourself, and then there's feeling yourselves as a couple. Beerus would absolutely be on that level and fucking revel in it. Like, the sex whenever you're high on your own supply is incredible. I don't know if it's like necessarily good for your development as a person, but look, like cookies are sometimes food, and also let me have this, goddammit. Beerus and you can fuck completely lost in how great you are, and reflecting that adoration back at each other in the most intense circle jerk in history. And then you can eat fancy food afterward. Whis is going to have to order foie gras. Beerus has a separate foie gras compartment in his fridge and already has a spreading knife ready to eat it off my tits.
Oh my God.
I am not standing here trying to defend this kind of egomania to anyone. I'm just saying it does feel really, really good. There's a reason this show isn't called Morally Defensible Choices. Oh.
I'm very happy for you, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wish you and Beerus a long and happy relationship.
Thank you. Okay. This is it. Our number ones. Our top fucks in the world of Dragon Ball. All right. Annie, would you tell us your number 1, please?
It's Bulma.
Yeah.
She is the total package. She's the absolute total. She's rich. She's a babe. She's a super genius. She's probably technically a space princess, considering her husband. And she's so good at treasure hunting that it's not even a fucking problem to find the Dragon Balls. She just wishes herself young and hot once a year so nobody can use them for evil. I love her. Bulma has been fully willing to shoot first and ask questions later since she was 14 years old. Bulma Brief saw a mass murderer short king from outer space and was like, I'm gonna fuck that. I'm gonna fuck that man and I'm gonna wrap him around my little finger. And then she did. Bulma is the kind of sex I want to be worth. If I attract Bulma's eye, it's like the greatest achievement in my entire life. And once you have that attention, you basically do anything she asks. You crawl on your hands and knees for that woman because you want there to be a second time. And honestly, like, listen, maybe a second time, listen, you play your cards right, maybe, listen. Maybe you get to be the person that Bulma and Vegeta notice from across the bar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm fine. Listen. Shut up. I'm fine. Hello.
Bulma saw mass murdering space royalty and said, I can fix him, and she was right.
Yes! Yeah. She was right. She actually knew how to do it.
Which is so wild because she looked at Yamcha, kind of a sweet person despite being a desert criminal, said, I can fix him, and was absolutely fucking wrong. Definitely could not. Made him much worse.
Well, she was like, I could probably fix him, but is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
James, you're number 1, if you would, please.
Bulma!
Yeah!
So
beautiful.
Hell yeah!
This is the only character I did not write a description for because I just felt it was all pretty evident. But I will say, let's take some time to appreciate this person for, she's a genius scientist. Yes, she's very attractive and she puts a lot of effort into that. Yes, she clearly has some interesting proclivities. Her fashion sense, though. Let's talk about how she definitely designs a lot of her own clothes and most of Vegeta's clothing.
Yep.
That bad man shirt is very much like the shirt that she wore in Dragon Ball that just has Bulma written across it. That's fun. What, you get to sleep with Bulma and then she'll make little outfits for you? Great.
On me be so grumpy about being a model.
My number 1 is Krillin. He seems like a guy who has eaten a ton of pussy and gotten really, really good at it. I just see that vibe in him. He actually does stuff with his time off. Do I know that most of it was eating pussy? No, I personally don't know that. But also on a deeper level, and you just have to trust that I know people who have trained in the way of the clit when I see them. Yes, I do know. I think he's one of the actual fun fucks you can have on this list. The guy who actually has food in his fridge and remembers to do his laundry because he's somewhat connected to IDK, material reality.
Yes.
And before you come into my DMs to tell me that you've had some of the greatest fucks of your life on dirty sheets, of course you have. We all have. But you keep Dirty Sheets guy on speed dial, but you don't text him all the time or care about him. You just want to fuck him sometimes. Krillin will legit plow you like a field in springtime. Get you something you like from the fridge after, and then big spoon or little spoon with you because he just enjoys touching you. Whatever the vibe happens to be that you're feeling at the time, that's great with him. As far as I can tell, Krillin is a top tier fuck. And crucially, I think Krillin will do bits with you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Krillin is the guy you can get absolutely railed by and then go to Albertsons and crack up with in the soup aisle.
Yes.
Krillin, not just a top tier fuck. I think he's a legit catch. He's so perfect. All right. Chris Sims, who is the objectively the correct number one?
It is my blessing and it is my curse.
Yes.
And I will say, the obvious choice is Bulma.
Sure.
And in some ways, the correct choice is Bulma. But I'm happy to announce that for the first time in my appearances on this show, MeganBob, you got it right. It's Krillin.
Yes.
Yeah!
It's Krillin. Because here's the thing about Bulma. Bulma done been hot. Okay? Bulma's been hot all her life. She's been rich and brilliant all her life. Krillin got bullied out of a Shaolin monastery. Do you know how bad it's got to be to get bullied out of a monastery?
Yeah.
Krillin went from that to being literally the strongest human being on the planet. He's about 3'6".
Yeah.
Krillin puts the work in in a way that Goku doesn't, Vegeta doesn't, Piccolo doesn't. Those are all aliens who are inherently stronger than humans. Krillin put in work. Krillin surpassed his master. Krillin landed Android 18.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he did it by being kind. By wishing her back to life.
Yes.
By seeing something that other people didn't in her. When Trunks was like, oh, that's just a killing machine, Krillin was like, no, that's my wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Krillin, you are correct. Top tier, every way. Krillin's the best fucking Dragon Ball. That's the correct answer.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, man. Maybe the key was I had to not be so close to it. Maybe that was how I got the correct answer this time.
It's purely on vibes.
Yeah, there's a whole thing with Krillin where it's just in the broad fandom, he is seen as sort of the joke who always gets punked.
Yeah.
Oh.
But this is just simply not correct.
Because he's, not in the top 7 strongest guys on the show.
Yeah.
He's the strongest human being.
It is unfortunate that he's a cop, but like most cops, I don't really want to fuck him, but I'll fuck his wife.
Look, this is a world where dinosaurs exist and where the Frieza Force occasionally shows
A
up.
dog is king president of Earth.
A dog is the president. I think in a world where a dog can be president, that cops can be good.
Yeah. If we can all, as a people, agree that a dog should be president and then make it happen. Yeah.
Sure.
Look, yes, he's a cop, but also fucking Cell Max is around. So
Sure.
somebody's got to deal with that.
I guess if the police were capable of solving any of those problems, I think that would be a really good point. It's just, it's a taxpayer-funded organization of people who can do nothing to address any of the real problems in society. So it is not at all different from this reality.
Telling you, I think they just hold bake sales.
I agree with you, but I do think that there are problems that don't necessarily require the intervention of Son Goku
That is a nuclear option.
that maybe Krillin can handle.
Yeah.
I will admit that some of those problems could probably be orgasms. So that all tracks. It all makes sense.
I did wonder about Krillin coming home and telling Android 18, hey, do you know what happens when you throw a buzzsaw blade made of pure ki energy at a normal person? Because I didn't. And I found that out today, and I'm going to take some time off.
Oh, man. Well, we did it.
We did it.
We did it. We fucked our way through 23 goddamn Dragon Ball Z characters. And now we move into our segment where we do some yelling. Let's unpack that.
Just like Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. Anybody have questions or just yells?
All right, let's fucking go, Sims.
Yeah.
Annie, how are you going to put Piccolo below Cell? Like, what? Like, all of your reasons for putting Piccolo below Cell are also problems with Cell.
Well, the thing is that,
We
like,
don't know what Piccolo's genital situation is. Cell's nude. We can see what the situation is. It's a vortail.
yeah, well, the vortail's retractable, so maybe his dick is too.
I do believe that Cell probably has internal genitalia.
Yeah.
That is something. But here's the thing. If he has it, it probably comes from Piccolo.
Well, no, look, here's the thing. He is perfect. He is a perfect human. I don't feel like Piccolo would be patient enough to be a partner who would actually be, like, able to figure out what I'm interested in.
And here's the thing, Annie, I have to respond to that by going, what are you talking about? He is one of the only patient people in all of Dragon Ball. A huge, and Boo arc is not a great arc to draw on, but like a key thing was him having the patience and belief in Goten and Trunks that they could get their shit together to save the universe.
Being good at babysitting doesn't mean he's good at finding my clit.
Look, maybe Piccolo is just going to leave you in the wilds.
Yeah.
Until you figure out how to get yourself off for 6
Exactly.
months.
And I've already...
But that following 6 months.
Yeah.
I just think that his problem is usually an option that involves absorbing another guy who might know how sex works.
Which?
But I don't know that he's absorbed anybody that knows how sex works. I'm not sure he's found any Namekians that actually know how sex works.
Look, I don't know that Kami knew how sex worked, but I don't know that he didn't.
That's true. I don't know that he didn't, but that would also involve asking questions about Mr. Popo, and I'm not doing that.
I do need to return to the Cell arc and watch Piccolo before that and after that to judge whether or not the emergent Piccolo fucks.
I think that's a valid point. That, like, the counterpoint that he is 3 different dudes after a while is one that I did not take into account, and I accept that. My thing about ranking Cell higher is that I think Cell would understand the process of sex and the things that one does along the way to get from point A to point B. A lot of it comes down to the fact that I don't think a lot of Z fighters are going to be all that great at foreplay, except Krillin.
Fair. Super fair. I mean, this universe as a whole, it's a weird middle heavy list.
Yeah.
Because I look at this list, there aren't a ton of no's here, but like the yeses are not super high. And like, I love Bulma. I think Bulma's a great character. It's just if you took any of the other top contenders from some of the other lists that have been done on this show, Bulma's not going to register particularly high on those lists. She's the best at fucking in a universe where not many people fuck.
And again, like, I feel like a lot of the Z fighters, their idea of foreplay is standing around while someone else is having sex, clenching their fists, and talking about what they're looking at with each other.
Actually, a very funny orgy that I would attend.
Do you think that there is a required voyeurism in the world of Dragon Ball Z, where you get the big Cell Games arena with like a little heart-shaped bed in the middle, and then it's like...
I think there's going to be some of that whether or not they want to, because everybody is constantly sensing everybody else's ki. They have a good idea.
He's toying with him.
They have a great idea of what's going on at any given time. They might even know right down to the sperm count.
Sure. Scouters have that as like an alternate setting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there a world in which Goku is any higher on the list? Is there a world in which Goku could be convinced to apply himself?
Could you not top the shit out of him? Because he does follow orders whenever, if you told him it was training related, he seems real dumb.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You have to phrase it as like training or fighting. Like, those are the only ways in which he finds interest. Like, I'm not even sure you could tell him that eating food is kind of like eating pussy or eating ass.
No, that's...
I feel like that's a dangerous thing to say to him.
That's a trip to the hospital.
Yeah.
Why does he leave raising his own children to go raise this other child? Why was that for training purposes?
Because that kid's good at fighting.
Because that child's the reincarnation of Boo, and so...
Because that kid's going to be really good at fighting.
Well, yes, Annie, correct, but he is also trying to protect the world from an ancient evil by, like, giving that ancient evil a shot at a good childhood.
Right. And part of it is friendship.
He does specifically ask King Enma to reincarnate Boo as someone good. And then he goes to help Oob. Wow, Oobs. Is that anything?
Yeah. Wow, Oobs. He's a wow, Oobs for sure.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
Here's the thing. The alternate reality where he's good at it is an alternate reality where Dragon Ball is the type of story that can keep Chi-Chi relevant. Because, the culmination of her arc, again, going to the World Martial Arts Tournament to prove that she is a match for the best fucking rips.
Yeah.
And if that energy had been maintained for her, I would absolutely believe that Goku and Chi-Chi love training together and love banging each other. Like, 100% easy for me to buy. It's just that's not the direction the story went for some reason. And so Goku's like a weird dog.
A thing that I think is interesting that you do have to kind of put together for yourself, and I don't even know if this is something that is like Toriyama did on purpose, but Chi-Chi's the one who teaches Gohan and Goten how to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Goku's dead.
Yeah.
At the time.
Jesus Christ.
She is a single parent for a very long time.
Yeah. Chi-Chi's the one who teaches the guy who surpasses Goku how to fight.
Yeah. What's interesting about Goku is that, like, while he loves fighting, he loves eating, he also loves friendship, but that never translates into he likes relationships. He's kind of aromantic, but in the way where it doesn't seem like it even clicks with him that that's even a thing you can do.
Yeah.
A thing that I've said before is that if I could, like, make my wishes on the Dragon Balls, I would wish that Goku was as good a character as Superman, and Superman comics were as good as Dragon Ball.
Yeah, man. Ooh, that's a good pair. Oh.
That would be incredible.
I do think there is a version of Goku that, like, there's something in there that does, like, value his friends and family. Like, the reason he becomes Super Saiyan is because Krillin gets hurt.
Yeah.
And I wish there was just just a shred more of, like, giving a shit about another human being.
It's so complicated because Goku has been through, like, his character was altered in translation. One of the weird things about Goku that Super really puts front and center is that he is more interested in fighting strong opponents than he is in the safety of any living
That's
thing.
true.
And that was kind of in the Japanese version, like, throughout. He does like his friends. He does care about his friends, and he does get upset about atrocities, but he's also not like the super good guy that we maybe got in the dub, which is complicated. It's complicated and certainly, I think, less fun, and definitely makes him worse at sex.
I don't think Goku as a character is designed to get anyone off for good or ill.
Yeah, because like the friendship that he does love is usually viewed through the lens of how fun is it to fight this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think the fight with Chi-Chi at the World Tournament is very good and very fun, and I wish there was more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of it
story.
is just that like at some point Chi-Chi grew up. She just didn't want to like keep competing with Goku over and over again. She just wanted to like have some kids, like enjoy domesticity, not like just something.
My problem with that view, because that is very much the view the character has, is that objectively she's wrong. Objectively, she's wrong. If Goku wasn't obsessed with his bullshit fighting stuff, everyone would be dead 1,000 times over. And that's proven.
But it is not a bad thing for her to ask, to be like, can you take an interest in doing the fucking dishes every once in a while? Can you, like, come to dinner with my father, the Ox King? Can you, like, take the baby for a second so I can go out and get a fucking sandwich?
That's true.
She is asking this of the wrong person. I understand this, but she's not wrong for asking it.
When we turn back to early Z, Goku isn't that absentee. Like, he does become that, but that's mostly...
But yeah, then he starts dying and realizing that he can just be dead instead.
Yeah, exactly. He can actually, I can work out a lot when I'm dead, and that rules.
You'll sleep when you're dead? Great. I can eat and train then, too.
Goku deciding to just go ahead and stay dead and let his pregnant wife...
With her second child.
Until he hears about how there's a good fight coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, Goku.
Yeah, he's... Ugh.
The world that we could have had when we just moved on to Gohan as, like, Teen Gohan as the protagonist.
Sure, man. Yeah.
Man.
Would that it were so simple.
I just want to tell Chi-Chi, like, there's other boys. It's fine. There's so many other boys.
If she could just divorce and, like, stop feeling so inadequate all the time and stop feeling like she had to prove something, she had to assert that other things that aren't fighting can be important, I think she would be so much happier as a person and more well-adjusted.
I mean, look, you say that, but to be fair, Chi-Chi's also the person who decides that she is gonna marry the person she met when she was like 6.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And shan't be taking no for an answer.
Well, and also got, like, pretended to get into the thing that was the most important thing to him, and then gets mad that that's really important to him later in life.
Oh, totally. Like, she's not completely blameless here. I just feel like if she felt like she didn't have to continually assert, no, you do have to go to school and learn how to, like, count and spell.
I'm sorry. No one does. Like, fucking Gohan the universe has never benefited from Gohan being good at, like, book learning.
Gohan's an entomologist. He's a well-adjusted, happy person.
He is. Hey,
Because he got
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's
did
not.
things that weren't fighting.
I'm just saying that, like, unlike Bulma, who has solved a lot of real-world problems with her genius, Gohan has not done this.
Gohan doesn't have to solve real-world problems. He just has to be a happy person who actually can care about other people.
Oh, what are you, his parent? And not a person who depends on him being strong enough to save us from the horrors?
I mean, look, James is not wrong. James is not wrong. If Gohan had focused on doing push-ups, then a lot of things could have been avoided.
Yeah.
This show seems like it is a weird show. It is a very weird show.
I love this show to death. I'm so excited.
I thought Bleach was weird.
Oh, buddy.
Well, Bleach is weird because this show is weird.
Yeah.
Like, this show is the reason that a lot of, anime is the way it is.
I guess I just thought that it was unusually weird, but I see that, like, no, Dragon Ball was out here weirding hard so that, like, other shows could weird to the degree that they were capable of, but no one has ever weirded as hard as this show has weirded.
One of my favorite things about the Dragon Ball universe, and, this is not a sexual thing, but like...
Do you just mean Universe 7?
Yeah, you know what? I do just mean Universe 7 because
just want to make sure.
And really, this is the Dragon Ball, where it's kind of the best D&D setting ever. Like, it's modern, there are guns and whatnot, but people are doing super martial arts and there are just random monsters everywhere. That's a bizarre world to grow up in. It's so wonderful and strange, and it only matters for, like, the smallest, briefest breath of this long franchise history. And you get to see like snippets and Super and whatnot, but like, man, oh man, is this a wild world that we don't talk about because of all of the yelling and fighting.
I tried real hard to watch some. I saw Piccolo die and I had a feeling about it.
Yeah, man.
I know. Pour one out. Then I kept it on in the background as I was doing my research. They were on the same fight scene.
Yeah.
Hours went by.
Oh, Bob, do
Yeah.
you know how long it takes for 5 minutes to pass for Namek to blow up? It's a lot of episodes.
The pacing is bananas.
Yeah. Time dilation. And that's not even counting like the chamber where you go train for 100 years in like a week.
My favorite example of that is when they go to King Kai's planet and King Kai's like, yeah, check it out. My planet has 10 times the gravity that Earth has. So training here for 1 year is like training for 1,000 years on Earth. And I'm like, cool, I believe you because you said that. But also that math doesn't really line up.
It is important to point out for Bob's benefit that Dragon Ball Z did get a re-edit where they adjusted the pacing. The original Dragon Ball Z series was 291 episodes long.
That is what's on Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Dragon Ball Z Kai, it cuts that down to 167 episodes. So nearly half of what you are watching is fully unnecessary.
Okay.
But you gotta see Goku and Piccolo get their driver's test.
That part is very important.
that
Yes.
is
that
so
in Kai?
important.
Did they leave that in Kai?
I really hope they did because
Because I love filler episodes.
Yes.
that's the best part of this show and why Super rules so much.
Is Super like the most recent or is Super...
Super's like a
Yes.
sequel series, yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it coming out now?
Yes.
It's finished its run technically, though there is more Super in the manga happening, so I don't know when that is hitting anime.
Yeah, the manga is ongoing, but it's kind of been in a weird hiatus place since Toriyama passed away recently.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he was still contributing like character designs and stuff and like I think broad story
wow.
beats.
He's credited as writer. I don't know, not in a mean or conspiratorial way,
Yeah.
because it definitely feels like a lot of Toriyama in there. It also feels like a lot of someone who really loves Dragon Ball Z as a fan writing
Yeah.
it, which would be the artist Toyozaru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's at least a lot of collaboration.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the way that like that manga tends to be made in sort of those small teams, I imagine it's probably a lot more collaborative between like the writer and artist there.
Definitely. So not enough of you wanted to fuck Launch, which is crazy to me.
Hey,
She seems fun.
I thought she'd yell at me,
she went high on my list.
but like in a mean way. And not in like a fun mean way.
Bob, here's an important thing to know. Launch
Okay.
yells at men. Yells at men.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen her yell at a woman.
Actually, okay, but this
Okay.
is Dragon Ball. Like, how many women had she met?
Bulma.
And I'm like, as an NB, what am I gonna get somewhat yelled at? Am I gonna get lightly yelled at? I could stand like I don't know what that where or do I confuse her sensors?
I imagine it's a little complicated, and the problem is that there's just not enough experimentation to know what the kind of bandit, like criminal queen Launch is like around people who are not men, because pretty much exclusively men exist.
It would be very interesting to confuse her sensors, though.
Huh. It would be.
Yeah.
That would be really exciting to just go like,
Yeah, because she'd start yelling and be like, wait, but, huh?
I know.
I can't sense your energy. You must be a god.
I just want to say, Chris, I like King Kai a lot, and I'm glad that you like King Kai.
Thank you.
He seems like a fun doof, and I'm into it.
His voice is so objectionable. I don't know how you could.
I mean,
oh.
okay, but someday, Hard Choices is going to do Star Wars,
Sure.
and I'm going to have things to say about the Gungans that are going to make people very unhappy. So,
Oh, McGaneth and Robert.
yeah, that Brian Blessed Fishman, though.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I know, but like, I just am who I am. All right, and with all of those bags unpacked, it is time for us to speak about the final rankings.
Let's get it.
Okay, this is it. This is final and binding. Our number 23 is Mr. Satan.
Yeah.
Number 22 is Cell.
yeah, okay.
21 is Master Roshi.
Also known as incel.
Number 20 is Yajirobe. Number 19 is Supreme Kai. Tied at 17 are Android 17. That'll make Chris happy.
Finally.
And Captain Ginyu and the Ginyu Force. So I don't know if those two are going to work it out and form some kind of something.
Is he like their 6th Ranger?
I feel so bad for Android 17.
Yeah.
Done dirty in that one.
It's just there's not, the evidence isn't there.
Yeah.
The science isn't there.
We have a 3-way tie for 14 with, oh Lord,
10.
this is not a threesome I think any of us want to know about.
Oh, man.
Tien Shinhan, Goku, and Frieza.
And Chaozu's there.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
Then our 13 is Chi-Chi. Our 12 is King Kai.
Yeah.
Number 11 is Yamcha. Then Launch. Then number 9 is Beerus. Number 8 is Videl. Number 7 is Whis. Number 6 is Piccolo. Number 5 is Android 18. Number 4 is Krillin.
Yeah.
Number
there we go.
3 is Gohan.
Good.
Number 2, I mean, this is not a surprising 1 and 2. Number 2 is Vegeta. And number 1 is Bulma.
Yeah.
The power couple of Dragon Ball.
And our median, our number 12, is King Kai.
Yes, that is what he deserves. A number 12. He deserves to be the median. That's great. That's a good median.
That works.
Yeah.
That works.
All right. And so we now have to rank the overall sexiness of the Dragon Ball universe on a scale of 1 to 10 boners. How many boners would you give this?
Low. It's simply not a very fuckable universe.
There's a lot of hotties, but
And yet all of you were so horny to talk about it. You couldn't wait.
That's what makes it fun to talk
Yeah.
about, though.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay, all right.
it's fun to talk about these characters fucking. Yeah.
sex is so far outside of most of these people's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It's imagining if the show had a completely different premise.
If this universe had sex pollen in the way that the Star Trek universe has sex pollen, there were people who would get hit with it and then not have sex.
Oh, wow. They just die.
No.
That's-
They would just continue living their normal lives because their lives are so divorced from the idea of sexuality that even a special horniness pollen would not affect them.
Oh, that's tragic. Oh, you hate to see that. Yeah, I got to give this let me look at my list real quick because I definitely want to fuck Krillin, Beerus,
I'm feeling like maybe a 5, but
Whis,
mostly brought
Vegeta.
on by the strength of like the
Fuck
top
me.
5 entirely. They pull it up from
Yeah.
like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, I think I got to give this a 3 because I'm maybe no, because I gave.
Maybe a 4. Might be a
Yeah,
4.
because we did What We Do in the Shadows recently, and that didn't rank super high. But man, no, this has got to be a 3 for me.
That's shocking because that's a very horny universe.
That's a horny
Really
show.
horny.
Yeah.
It is a horny show, but you would be surprised. I think the way that it is horny does not necessarily appeal whenever you look at all the different characters. But yeah,
a lot of them are kind of just guys.
bingo.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a 3.
For me, I think from a purely statistical standpoint, I have to go around 6 or 7. And that's because
wow.
when I look at the list, when I really look at the list, my hard no's start after Krillin, who's down at 17 for me. Everyone after that, I'm like, I really don't want a piece of that. Everyone else is a yes. It's just, as I said before, the yeses are not like super yeses. These are not like transcendent experiences for the most part, or transcendent partners, because I think Whis is a transcendent experience, but not so much partner. Regardless, I think it's a very average universe, getting slightly above average just by volume. But, you know, there's not a lot of sauce on there. There's no spice.
Yeah, this is some real buttered noodles.
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right, Annie.
I think I'm sitting at a 5. If it weren't for like my top 3 or 4, then I think it would be closer to a 4. But I think those guys pull it up to a 5 for me. But again, it's just not a universe that's really built around sex at all. It's built around Goku.
Yeah.
Mistake.
And Goku is the opposite of sex.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
But not in the way that like an ace person is. Like, no.
No.
Goku's a whole separate thing.
Goku's only asexual because he's never heard of it.
Chris, what about you? What do you want to rank this?
I feel like if it's gonna be 4 or below, it has to be one that I would want to like actively avoid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's very little that I think is like sexually like, no, I don't want to fuck Frieza, but it's like that's not the problem with Frieza, right? There are other much more important problems with Frieza than fuckability. So I would say it's got to be a 5. It's not one that I'm like cruising into looking for a good time, but you know, if I wind up there, all right, there's options.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And now, what did we learn here today? I learned that I think I missed a crucial development in a period as a nerd because I was not an anime watching child. You can't go back. It's like if you don't pick that up at a specific time, I don't know that you can go back and like get your immunity. And so I was not able to parse the lore in the ways that I really needed to be able to.
I don't think I learned anything. I knew all of this when I showed up. That's
Christopher.
Sure.
that's kind of my gimmick.
Yeah.
That's kind of his
On
thing.
this show.
Yeah.
That's your
It
fucking
is.
gimmick.
It is. Oh my God.
I learned that even with the homoerotic energy of an obsession, the libidinal power of a rivalry, that doesn't automatically transform into sexual energy.
That is, wow.
One of the saddest things about
I was going to say.
Vegetto
Yeah.
or Gogeta is
So
that
horny.
the only marginally sexual part of the whole experience is Vegeta's shame.
Yeah. That
Which
you
is
hate
hot,
to see
but
that. Yeah, I mean, it is.
Not as hot as
but-
it could be.
I feel like in creating this trunk-shaped hole in the episode, I learned that I was correct as like a tween to see Trunks, and a part of my brain to just fixate on that for the rest of my fucking life, to say I want to have whatever that is. I want to be it. I want to have it. I want that. I don't know how, but that. And it turned out it was just that I'm bi and grays. And I need more
Beautiful.
swords.
And for me, again, Trunks is absolutely the origin point of sexuality. Trunks is the black obelisk to the strange apes that Annie and I are wandering around before we pick up our bone clubs.
I need more crop jackets. I need more swords. I've already got one. I need more. I need those boots. I need that. I need all of that.
That's beautiful.
You just need something to fill your Trunks shaped hole.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my
I do.
God. Thank you all so much for doing this. You were very brave.
Bob, you were the bravest
Your
one
passion.
of all. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go
Yeah.
into this with no context.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now we can move on to plugs. Annie, what you got?
Hi, I'm Annie Craton. You can find me on Blue Sky at anniezard.bisky.social. But more importantly, you can find out all about my podcast and shit on crookedrussiancam.horse or crookedrussiancam.gay. We're also crcpodcast.bisky.social. Anyway, just look us up. We have a lot of gay shit. We have I Will Fight You, a kind of a sister podcast to Hard Choices.
Yes, it is.
Bob's been on it.
I have.
It was great.
I enjoyed it.
Chris Sims has been on it. Haven't had James.
I'm waiting for that invite.
And that is a pop culture opinions podcast. We're also objectively correct over there. We turn opinions into stone cold fact and have done so since 1986. Don't ask. We also have Gem Jammer, an actual play 5e podcast where we play in the Spelljammer universe and all of its incredibly gay glitter garbage. I love it so much. You should definitely listen to it. There's a lot of episodes. We've got a story so far episode around 126 that will catch you up to everything, but it will be a good time.
That's wonderful.
Date Me Damn It is also our Otome game date sim video series, and all of the stuff about that is, again, crookedrussiancam.horse or crookedrussiancam.gay.
Oh, beautiful. Love it. All right, James.
All right, heroes, you can find me and all of my good works over at oneshotpodcast.com. I am currently the host of the Campaign Skyjacks podcast, the Star Wall podcast, which is a space fantasy show. Oh, yeah, the Ultimate RPG podcast, which is an interview show where we do world and character building exercises while we also talk to wonderful creative people about their careers. You can also find most of my work at your local bookstore. I published the Ultimate RPG series with Adams Media, which is an imprint of Simon & Schuster. And very recently, I tricked them into publishing Oh Captain, My Captain, the first standalone role-playing game that a Big Five publisher has ever published.
Hell yeah!
I would very much
yeah.
appreciate if you go out and you buy this thing, because if it is successful, not only will they continue to allow me to publish role-playing games, but they will also hire other game designers, because
Yes.
the only thing big corporations know how to do is chase after money as soon as they smell it.
Yes, go buy that game.
Fucking rules.
So yeah, go check
buy
out
it.
Oh Captain, My Captain. It literally just came out. It's still fairly fresh when you are hearing this. Go buy it and review it on Amazon, because that helps the algorithms so much.
Yes, always review. Always review. All right, Chris Sims.
Everybody can find me by going to the-isb.com. That is my website. It has links to things and one thing that you can read. Because a problem happened with WordPress, and I decided that nobody needed comics reviews I wrote in my 20s anymore and deleted everything.
Wow.
And then I wrote a 5,500 word essay on the concept of having a favorite video game.
The thing that you can read is a really good thing.
Yeah, there's a second thing that's coming up that I don't want to announce just yet. Beyond that, there's ways to get in touch with me. I currently don't have a job, so...
Employ this man. Employ
You
him.
definitely need to employ
If
him.
you are working in an industry that requires someone to know which Dragon Ball character is the most fuckable, I can't imagine that is the case for anyone other than MeganBob.
Sure.
But I am available, and you can acquire my skills for what I think is a very reasonable rate.
And you have such skills. So many.
So many.
Yeah, I'm right.
He's literally right about all the things.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Very good at the game Dungeons and Dragons.
I am very good at the game Dungeons & Dragons. Unrelated.
Yeah.
And I'm MeganBob, and I am the host and creator of the Hard Choices podcast. And Bad Choices is going to be coming up. Bad Choices is our live drunk episode that we do approximately whenever the stars align. And that is coming up on Saturday, November 23rd at 5 p.m. Pacific. James is going to be on it.
Yes, I will.
James does not know the full list yet. We're still working on the kinks as of this recording. However, I do know that because it is couples, Morticia and Gomez Adams are going to be on that list.
Nice.
I happen to know that Samantha and Darren are going to be on that list. Nick at Night couples.
That's a good premise.
Yeah, I think Darren has something. I don't think there's nothing there. Lucy and Ricky Ricardo.
Ooh, that's a power couple.
The fuck energy. Laura and Rob Petrie. There's a lot happening in this universe. It is going to be an amazing night whenever you get to go back to your childhood and go, oh, that's what all those feelings were.
You got Maxwell Smart and Agent 99 on there?
Yes, we do.
You have Mork and Mindy on there?
We do. Oscar and Felix from The Odd Couple. I think we're actually going to save Mork for a different Nick at Night episode. But yeah, that is coming up. Everybody who is a patron of Hard Choices, you get to come to this episode. You get to come to it. It is $1.69 to be bottom tier patron, and get in, come in. We want you to be there. This is going to be an amazing night. If you subscribe at a higher level, you get a bingo card to play bingo. Just for playing bingo, we give you like a little prize. It's going to be an amazing night. You're definitely going to want to be there. I also have an OnlyFans recently. It's very fun. I enjoy it a lot. And I'm going to be releasing a thing called Porn for No One. If you've ever wanted to see what it's like whenever an alien pretends they know what a blowjob is, this is some of the content for you. Go find me over at onlyfans.com/MeganBob. There's also sexy shit, but there's also shit that's just dumb and fun.
Aliens who don't know what blowjobs are is very much on theme for the Dragon Ball episode.
Goku. Yeah. I know what he looks. I've got one.
Yeah, but have you ever seen him try and fake and pretend that he knows what a blowjob is?
Can't say I have.
Not yet. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Hard Choices. And we cannot wait to see you again in December for Stardew Valley.
Ooh.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. And with that, stay hard.
This has been Hard Choices. If you want to show your support and get even more goofs from behind the scenes, visit patreon.com/hardchoices and become a patron. You'll get exclusive voting rights and participation in every weird new thing we do. If you like the show, please consider leaving a 5-star rating and review on the podcatcher of your choice. It shows people what's fun about the show and makes it easier for others to find it too. This episode produced by Lucas Brown of The Math of You. That's me. I also produce I Will Fight You for Crooked Russian Cam. Our theme song is Funk Me by Soundroll. This piece and all music used in this production is licensed through Uppbeat. You can find more details in our show notes and find more great tunes at uppbeat.io, spelled UPPBEAT.io. If you'd like to get into touch with us, look for the Smash Fiction Fan Faction on Facebook and join the conversation. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us. You're a peach.